sit by the fire and hear the tale of 5 steadfast adventurers as they explore the mysterious isles of Ghrimtuk. Join us on the sword-casting adventures.
It is with heavy heart that I recount this last day. Our band was fighting these contemptuous frogkin in the swamp. Their leader, that vile one, summoned some monstrous behemoth. It was like a frog, but different and enormous. When I return to Evermeet, I must recount this. They will be quite disturbed. Anyhow, the ferocity of the creature was too much for our dear Loud Scout, and he perished. I too was in grave peril, but my party saved me. I must say I am fortunate to have such companions. I will be sad when they pass from this world. Moving on, we left Loud Scout to a rocky tomb. It is a sad thing to lose a life, but especially one so young. He had at least another 400 years to live.
Thank you very much, Elduin. You all find yourself now, the light of day just breaking through the windows. Elduin, you find yourself surrounded by the items you had been identifying throughout the night. You find, in your hands you now hold a staff of the Python,
Ooh.
a scroll of alarm,
Yes.
and a potion of greater healing. All the others seem to be just trinkets of wealth, but none of magical ilk. Of course, you have the things you were able to hold from your previous companion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you find yourself at the break of day. Are you doing anything in particular before you go downstairs?
So, when I discovered that this was a scroll of alarm, I would attempt to copy that over to my ritual spell.
Okay.
And so I just would do that while
Okay.
I'm
Which
busy being
Which
an
takes
outlaw.
away obviously the scroll of alarm, puts it in your thing, and leaves you with a potion of greater healing. You would have done that during the night. So you wake up having this new ritual spell in your book.
Hell yeah.
Metolius, you see the rays of the sun breaking through the window next to you. You find the soft form of the guard who had been working alongside of you.
Adel.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this.
She seems to be cooing in her slumber as the daylight kind of wakes you from yours. Are you doing anything in particular?
Cuddling.
Okay. You put an arm softly around her and kind of pull her close again.
Yep.
The prior day's events still hang high in your mind, but the mild amount of comfort depending on how the night went,
I feel that
exceptional amount of comfort you were given.
We were both exceptionally comforted.
Excellent. Equally comforted, some would say.
Oh, I'm definitely. She got her comfort before I got mine.
Boom.
Say that.
And actually,
There is one,
digress.
I will say that there is one item that we weren't aware of that Thought Scout had that Eldwin, not Anduin. That's a different story.
it's a whole nother story all in itself. It's true. I will say, out of the items that Ladscott had, you have his robe of useful things, you have his wand of web, you have a pearl of power.
Right.
As well as you find it interesting, as though residual, the necklace, his jawbone necklace, the one with the stone set into it, you feel just residual energy kind of flowing through it. It doesn't seem to have any form of spell or anything, but the amount of magic he put through it still leaves kind of a flickering moment of your lost companion in your hands.
Okay.
And so that, anything else?
Metolius just after a while rises, prepares, prays to Guayron and Maliki, his patrons, and
Dado does the same. About the time you kind of get up, she does hers, puts on her basic clothing and leaves to her house to get ready for the day.
We say our goodbyes.
Of course.
I think Metolius would leave and probably find some kind of lone tree or copse of trees and probably just reflect. And
Sure. You just follow her out. She goes off to her house. You go off to the edge of the swamp where there are still some very well, manicured trees and still some living ones. And you sit under those as the sunlight starts to crest over the treetops. On the other hand, our other two wonderful people, Rain, you slowly stretch out. No hangover, surprisingly, after so much drinking, but you feel very good. You feel wonderful. It's been great. And you turn your head and you look over and you see the very jet black skin of Vavrir. Again, that same kind of soft breathing. And you look over and you kind of smile and you stretch, and then you see right next to it the large heaving chest of Ghrimtuk, and then you hear the loud ruckus snore that comes out of his mouth. And I think you take for a moment and question what happened last night, and I don't know, do you decide to, what do you do with that information? And you see Vavrir kind of stretches out at the same time, and in his sleepiness kind of gives you a nice big hug around the middle.
Oh man, alright.
That's what happened, if anyone was wondering. It was a good night. He's the meat in this sandwich.
I am gonna try to sneak out of there, I think.
I would like you to roll stealth.
No problem.
Actually, let's roll stealth, and then I'm gonna have you roll an acrobatics check to get out of his arms.
Got it, alright. I can make that happen.
He's not hugging hard, but he's hugging you.
22 for my stealth.
Okay.
It's a legit stealth.
And
Acrobatics.
Sleight of hand to diss out of his.
20. 20.
So you see his arms kind of reach over, and as he shifts for just a moment, you feel his grip release. And you slide right out. In mere moments, you're once again fully armored and clothed, all your stuff on you, and you tiptoe out the room.
Yes, please.
I would like to do that.
What was your stealth again?
22.
Cool. Okay.
And 20 for the acrobatics.
As the door closes at the very tail end of the clink, you start walking down the stairs, and Ghrimtuk, you feel a soft set of arms wrap around you. And you hear that very calm, cool voice kind of whispering here, "Good morning."
Rain, I didn't know you were the cuddling. Oh. You're not.
And he kind of looks over behind him and he's like, "Oh, she seemed to dip out of here very quickly."
Yep, that sounds about right. That is exactly spot on.
And
To be expected.
you even see that kind of very stereotypical, walk up the chest with the fingers.
I'm just gonna nonchalantly just sit up.
That's fine. He kind of leans back and throws his arms behind him, and you just hear a very, very satisfied, ah.
Yep. So, bye.
And a good morning to you, too.
Get dressed.
That's fine. He lays there,
Yep.
doesn't follow, he just enjoys the day.
We know who the real king is.
Yeah. Whatever. A good time was had by all.
It's true.
Ghrimtuk don't regret it. He's just not really the pillow talk type of guy.
That's fine, it's fine. So yeah, you leave the room. That means everyone has now left. Where, Metolius, you're outside. Elwyn, are you still in the room checking?
I'll head downstairs and try and find some breakfast soup or bread or something.
I think Metolius would return after a while, after he felt like
So I think
everyone was awake.
the four of you find yourself in the room, in the actual bar section where food is being had by other patrons, and you see Kaiden, the owner, come over to you and go, I'm surprised you're all up so early, but here, ales, breakfasts, what you need?
Both.
Got it.
Bacon.
Lots of it. Okay, I understand. And she,
Water.
Do you have tea?
I do. Did you any?
Yes, something stimulating, perhaps.
I think I have something for that. And she does. She brings you. She brings you a what she calls a sweet nettle tea, and it does very much. It kind of gives a little sting to it, but not by any means, and it very much wakes you up. Everyone else gets their food and bacon, and as you're all kind of sitting there eating, you hear the door open behind you, and Argon, the other guard, kind of comes in, and he walks over to your table very abruptly and goes, "Sulk says that you should all come with me. I think you're going to want to be here for this."
Beware for what?
I mean,
Latolia stands up,
I think you know what's happening now, don't you?
bacon hanging out of his mouth.
I can posit a guess.
You came back. The Gare himself was obviously guilty. He is being dragged in front of the mayor's residence and executed.
Yeah, I definitely want to go see that. Ghrimtuk just stands up, hefts his axe over his shoulder.
Yeah, Rain slams the rest of the ale that was put in front of her and stands up and is ready to go.
Okay.
Ghrimtuk's gonna take his with him.
Ale?
Yeah, nothing like some ale over an execution.
As you leave the door, as you like start to leave, you hear kind of call out and stops. Like she kind of goes
Latolia would probably also do the same.
Okay. Nice. Interesting, as you leave, the town is much more alive than you would expect this early in the morning. You see people milling about, and not in the way of, like, you know, people talking about their night or what they're going to do during the day like you saw before down the main, like, shop corridor. Instead, people are moving in a direction you haven't exactly been yet. And you see at the very far end of this roadway sits a beautiful looking house. A lot more kind of built and taller than most you see in town. The eaves are, well, there's almost what seems to be like a brass on the eaves to give it that kind of old churchy look. And then you see a huge mass of people standing outside of it. And there does seem to be a platform kind of in front of the gates. It's not very large. It's probably about maybe 12 by 12 foot altogether. But on top of it stands a very well-dressed man, one you haven't actually seen in person. He older, kind of white hair, obviously looks like he's kind of born to money. He's got like a bit of velvet on and a long flowing cloak that seems to be almost like a dress cloak. And you see like one kind of strip of black still in his hair and a very large beard set there and a bit of a stomach that tells you that he eats well. But he stands there in front of everyone and kind of leading the crowd, and you hear his voice kind of going, yes, don't worry. It will happen soon enough. Everyone, be patient.
Is this the individual we passed on our way out to the swamp?
You did see him in passing.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the way there, if we're all in a somewhat tight cluster, Metolius would just like to, kind of in a hushed tone, but so everyone can hear, say, I think we should warn the people of this fair town about Cassandra. I think we should warn them.
Do you think this is a good platform to do that?
Oh, not in public.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
After.
What would we say? These are the
I realize
folk
that
of...
I realize that this is their Cassandra's vassals, but I think they need to know that their lord, their lady, is not to be trusted.
I agree. I mean,
We're going to tell a bunch of people that their ruler is suspicious according to us?
Here-
I want to tell Salk, and I want to tell the mayor, and I don't want to tell anyone else.
I would be very careful in doing that. We
Well,
don't
I
want
agree.
to wear out our welcome immediately by our own hand.
I agree with Metolius, only that Cassandra will be looking for us. We have the stones that she wants, and everyone in this town has seen us. We have no choice. Either befriend them and hope that they would lie for us, or kill them so they can't speak.
Or get out of town.
I think, the plan is to leave town today.
So-
But I think they deserve to know that Cassandra is not what she seems.
if anything, just to conceal our escape, so we aren't tracked. There will be people that come through here with malicious intent trying to find us.
Do you not see the light of this town? The harmony of these people? They are happy. We cannot let them fall into darkness.
I agree, but you're asking a man who seems to have a very strong sense of justice to betray his chain of command. This seems like a rather large ask. I am just concerned for our safety and our safe passage.
I just think that Salk is able to see the right kind of justice and not be blindly held to the whims of his
I will say this.
lady.
What I have seen of Sulk is that he is a good man, but he is willing to employ torture, which means that he is not a man who abides by the laws, or, I guess, lives by his own code. A man who lives by his own code is willing to forego authority if it means there's a greater good involved. You didn't see what I saw. The device that he employed on that man was barbaric, and that's by my standards.
Damn it.
So, I believe that what Batolius is saying is that these people's sense of right and wrong is stronger than their sense of duty for their lord.
I see. And what would you do if, upon telling Salk, he immediately says you are arrested?
He would die.
You would fight the entire town's guard?
If it meant not losing my freedom,
And
absolutely.
murder those who are merely doing their jobs?
Any man who tries to put me in chains is welcome to try.
You put them in a tough spot. I don't believe that we need to tell Salk, but if we do, I perhaps might not tell. It is my sworn duty to continue my journey and report back to Evermead. I am concerned that getting into a political affair here would jeopardize that.
I feel that if I invoke the spell that I used in the courtroom a few days ago, then we will know Salk's intentions. He can try and wiggle his way out of it, but then if he hesitates,
But you have tipped your hand at that point already.
it matters not. We will know before we leave that room with him and the mayor whether or not they can be trusted.
Let us get a measure of this mayor. We have met Salk, and I trust him as a man of his word. I do not know this other man.
Fair. I think we should wait as well, but it is an idea I had, and I am willing to see it through, because I do not think that this, and he gestures around to the city, and the multitudes of people and races that live together in this harmony, I do not believe that they deserve whatever Cassandra and her family have in store for them.
That's fair, but I do think we should have a game plan to get out of there either way. Because, we just don't know how deeply these people's loyalty lies.
I agree.
As you're all standing around talking about this, you hear a commotion far off, down another roadway to your left, closer to where you would have seen the guardhouse and where Salk and now Gare was being kept. You see a parade of people throwing what seems to be like rotten vegetables or fruit, even rocks at times, but not as often, being that every time someone seems to throw a rock, they're very quickly stopped by the guards around. But in the very center of this all, you see Salk walking forward, and behind him 2 guards holding Gare, chained, bound, and gagged, dragging him to what seems to be his final resting place.
I don't want to miss the show. Let us make haste to this large manor house.
Yes. Better to end a man's life than to keep him in chains. Let's go watch the show.
You do hear screams of like child killer and heathen and things like witch or monster, all called and all screamed. Children are shown away by their parents. and anyone willing and able to seems to run up and at least spit on the man they once thought to be this pillar of society, learning that word spreads very fast in this town. Salk passes the four of you in this procession and gives kind of a nod, but doesn't say anything, and walks and follows up to that pedestal where this finely dressed man stands. On it behind him, you see what looks like a block, if anyone has been in the presence of a beheading or something of an execution like that. You know this block. It's square, but there's a cutout right at the front where you would expect. What's interesting about this one, especially for this town, is it seems very new. There are very few cuts in it, and the blood left upon it seems to have soaked in years ago. So this is not a very regular event. But the town seems to thirst for blood now.
Ghrimtuk is going to make his way to the front row of this.
Okay.
Kind of shoulder his way through people.
And you see, after a few minutes, you see Salk in his procession drag Gare up the stairs and finally throw him head first at this block, and he lands hard against it, and you hear like a very muffled cough, and his eyes now wild, the blindfold removed, and he sees the viewers of this execution in front of him, and you see his head like looking wild against his eyes, like opened as wide as possible, and fear, but also something like contempt sits behind his eyes. And then around the corner, a third of these guards comes, hood now over their heads, their face covered. No armor, no anything but what seems to be an axe of some amount of ceremonial nature. A little bit more. It doesn't look like an axe you'd bring to battle, but it does look very sharp and well maintained. A little bit of filigree, almost like silver inlaid around it, this blackened metal. And the handle seems very etched in beautiful ebony wood with a bit of gold all around. And as this hooded figure kind of comes up, you see the mayor step forward and go, "You have all come here to see Gare Bouvaz, the owner of the orphanage, what we thought to be a pillar of our town, struck down for the crimes against ourselves, his children, and from what it seems, travelers passing by. I now hand this over to our captain of the guard, as he will proceed with this man's execution." And you see the man now kind of give a solemn bow and step back, keeping on the pedestal, but staying back behind everyone. Salk now stands forward, and you see him kind of unfurl this bit of parchment. He goes, "For the crimes of the deaths of many of his children, for the nature of the practices that he held within his walls, and for the subterfuge he played against us all. Gare Bouvaz, your sentence is death by beheading. You will have no right to stop this. You all will be the witness of what is to come in our town if you are found guilty of such heinous crimes." And he says that and rolls the parchment back up. And he steps back. And he motions to the one hooded figure now with the axe. And they move in position. And you see Gare look up at the hooded figure. And then look down. And for a moment he locks eyes with the four of you. And then a spark of something sets in his brain. You see it just like the idea comes over him. And then underneath the gag, you hear laughter.
With no tongue? Creepy.
You hear just a gagged. And as he does this, you almost see a bit of red start to pour out as he's like pressing against the gag. His almost elation at your loss seems to set in with his insanity that has finally come forward. And you see the executioner stand to the side of this man as he raises his head. Sulk quickly comes behind Gare and gives him one swift crack in the back of the head to knock his head down flat. And then he steps back again, the executioner raising the axe high. And with one swift stroke, the head is removed. It bounces down and rolls off and finally lands down, eyes wide, with a sickening smile left upon the face as the life drains from the man once known as Gerbuvaz. Screams are heard, but also cheers mixed in, and then a hush as his body, no longer attached, is drug from the pedestal. And the mayor then once again makes his way to the front and goes, "Justice has been done. Now, go about your days. Pray that no one else will have such heinous acts brought down upon them. So is the ward." And he turns and walks, and you see him kind of say something to Sulk. He kind of stops him, a hand on his shoulder. And then he leaves. He walks down, he walks through the gates that are behind this pedestal, and walks into the house. And as the crowds are starting to disperse, you see Dadel actually collect, now in her full garb attire, collect the head from the ground, covering it in just a sack. She looks at you all and continues about her day. Sulk strolls down, solemn in the need for such a public display, but still, knowing that justice is fulfilled, he seems content as he walks up to you and goes, "The mayor has requested your presence. Your payment for your duties is waiting inside. Please follow me."
Very well.
I follow.
Yep, that's all.
As you all...
Give what's his name's head a kick.
It's already been
Okay.
picked up,
Yeah.
I believe.
I will
before I
absolutely
picked it up.
let you retroactively kick
Some
Gareth.
dirt on it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna. Do we pass like they left the body? They just grabbed.
No,
the
they
head.
dragged the body
Oh,
away.
they dragged the
Okay.
body away. Never mind.
They dragged the body in, and Dadel grabbed the head. You
Alright.
do see there are a few almost people just enraptured by the spectacle of this. Not in a kind of disturbed way, just like it's so odd that they stay there for a moment watching the blood still rest upon the actual block. And as the executioner leaves and everyone leaves, they also seem to walk away. But it's an odd sight to be seen. As you then follow Gare past the gates, he walks in. You enter these two giant doors at the entryway as they're pulled open by what seem to be just servants of some kind. Inside is this lavish hall with a staircase going up to the second floor and tall paintings all around. One seems to be just of the man and a few others of families of a similar ilk. You can pick out like quirks, like their nose seems to be the same. It almost seems like generations have lived here. And down the hallways you see many rooms of unopened doors, but you see a few servants kind of milling about. But Sulk walks you down to the right hallway, down a long hallway to this end door at the very end, a little smaller than most you see around. And he opens it to reveal what seems to be a decently sized study. Books lining shelves to the ceiling, all of the walls. A small fireplace sits with a nicely made chair and a stand. and a small decanter of, right, that's the word, decanter of wine sits on there with a glass. And then at the desk in the far end where many forms of paperwork seems to be wrote through, sits that same gray-haired, bearded individual in the fine silks. A sack on the table, and he sees you enter with Salk and goes,
"Ah, yes. Please, come in. I've heard many things about you, but I have yet to be able to meet you face to face, as you are saviors of my town, in a way."
As we enter, I hang towards the back of the group.
Sure. He seems to pay no mind. Salk just stands to the side of him.
We were just trying to do this fantastic village a favor in removing some of the darkness from the world and within it.
I see. And as you say that, you see the man stand up, and he seems even about maybe Rain's height. He seems a little shorter. Definitely shorter than Salk. Definitely shorter than most of you. But the cloak still on kind of drags behind him. As he walks over to you, Metolius, who were the one kind of starting this conversation, he goes, he puts out a hand and goes, "Torn Hogthrow."
Metolius Blackthorn.
Pleasure.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
I am the mayor here of this town. I have been placed here, and my family has lived here for many generations. What may I call the rest of our town's saviors?
Well, we have no group name, but I am Elduin Lunare.
Excellent. Elduin Torn. Or Mr. Hogthrone, if you wish. And you two? He kind of looks back to you, Ghrimtuk, and then you, Rain, in the back.
Just point look to you.
Rain.
Ghrimtuk.
The pleasure is mine. I can't thank you enough for even first finding out about the kind of infection of this town, as well as finding one of the children and bringing him back alive. I don't know how to actually say how much I appreciate it. Though they are orphans, they are still very valuable members of our town, and to know that any of them went to harm, it kills me on the inside.
That was the least we could do.
Indeed.
But where are my manners? I know Salk had offered you payment, correct?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
And you came with a few extra things, so we discussed adding a bit of total to that, being that you had some very interesting commodities brought back. And he kind of takes the bag, it's decently sized, and kind of sets it down and hands it to Metolius at first, being that you were the first one to talk to him. And he goes, "Here, it is 780 gold, to be split among the rest of you."
Thank you, is most generous.
If I may ask, how did so many children come to be without families in a village this size? You're not a large village, but I counted at least, 6, 7 children?
The children aren't all from this town. They are from all around. We take in any stray that needs a home, especially of the ilk of a child who can learn, who can grow. Sadly, I thought they were actually going to a place that would help them. I did not know they were going to a place that would put them in such danger.
Well, now you have a chance to make up for that. And
the orphanage still stands. They are still housed, yes.
And for that we are glad that we could do what we could do, I believe.
So, I can't say I have any other jobs waiting in the wings. Thankfully, none other of my townsfolk need be ousted nor killed. And he kind of almost gives a sad smile at that thought. Not in a way that he's sad about it not happening, but that it did.
Yeah.
Seems more than anything. And he just kind of looks at you all and goes, "You obviously have free reign of my town."
We plan to be off very shortly.
Well,
We
then,
have other things to attend to on other parts of the island.
are you all from this island? You all seem like a very odd match, and from what I heard, you had a smaller member who did not make it out of the swamp.
Yes, he passed.
I am sorry for your loss.
Yes, we come from many places. We are very traveled.
Odd. I'm not very familiar with travelers passing through, but it is good to know that more than just the people upon this island walk these grounds.
Yes, we all are merely here to spread the light of the world and to push back the darkness.
Well, excellent. I mean, you have obviously done that in what is a small modicum of that so far. I hope that your travels allow you to do more.
What did you know of this man, Garrett Bouvaz? Were you close?
I had been having drinks with him. I had gone to pray with him before.
Did you both grow up here?
No, actually, I come from a bit of a northern city,
Which city?
Aldkeep. It's just a little ways past the mountain range. But I was instated, and my family has been for a while. I decided to try to travel the lands a bit myself and was called back to fill a position when my father passed.
If I may ask, because we're foreigners here, who provided you this position? To whom gave you this role of mayor here?
The Duchess provided me the position of my family, as well as brought me back. Requested me back, I should say.
This Duchess you speak of, has she treated your village well?
She has left us most alone. I feel that her raising of taxes constantly is a bit, shall I say, a bit rough for my villagers, especially being that I am the one to have to enact this rising of taxes, but other than that, she seemingly has left us alone.
Has the conflict with her brother at all affected your village?
No, I was unaware.
We have heard rumors throughout this land
That would,
of a rising conflict.
a fighting family would be terrible, especially one in such power.
You should definitely ready your people.
I have what equates to a small militia, but
No, I didn't mean for combat, just for harder times. Anytime a war or conflict comes through, it saps resources. Hide away your grain, hide away your flour.
he kind of looks over at Salk with a questioning look, and Salk kind of shakes his head. And I appreciate the thought and the concern.
You'll have to forgive my friend here. He comes from orcish stock who are very adept at dealing with hard times.
We are a hard people.
Then I very much appreciate your insight, as you are one to know of this hard times. We have yet to fall upon them, but with the most recent execution, and I worry that our funds might be a little more strapped now that we have to put more into the orphanage. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just, it is something that we have to take into account now.
Do you receive much in the way of aid from the governors, the Duchess? if you will?
If it is needed, but it hasn't been recently.
It stopped recently?
No, it just, it was unnecessary. She keeps to her citadel, her castle, and only, really branches out upon the city if there is unrest or need for help of theirs. Again, as I said, she usually lets us run our town as we see fit, minus the letters here and there about raising of taxes or anything else like that.
I see.
But that also hasn't happened for a little bit.
If I may ask, what type of conflict have you run across with these frogmen who seem to have been targets or co-conspirators? I don't quite know what the relationship was.
To my knowledge, I mean, as I was talking with Sulk about something recently like this, they are just a tribal people. They paid us almost no mind. A few errant scouts would be taken care of quickly and disposed of, so that they were not dealt with. I don't know. I never even saw but the dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, I do not believe you will be seeing much of them from now on. We either slew or drove off most of them, and their village was put to the torch.
Especially in those situations. I know not of how they live, but...
They don't anymore.
Yeah. If any ran, if they ran deeper into the swamp, they only expect death. Things get, from the legends, things get worse and worse as you go farther in. Monsters are told to be there.
Of which we've encountered some, and I believe that they have been dealt with.
Saw the troll hands.
Aye.
I didn't know there were any so close.
Yes, well, if that is all, I believe we will bid ourselves excused, and we have a few things to take care of before we leave town.
Please feel free to come find me, or of course, Salk. He'll be back in the courtroom in that area if you need him. He kind of seemingly talks over Salk or like about him, even though he's standing right there. And you see Salk kind of shift uncomfortable with this, but it almost seems to be like the way of things in this kind of talk.
Know your place, Salk.
I guess.
Can I insight that?
Sure.
Just the nature of the relationship, perhaps?
Sure.
I roll my brand new dice from Kraken Dice. That was going to be a 13. I mean...
Looks a little cocked.
It's mildly cocked, but I think it would have sat. So a 14.
I mean, you can tell Salk isn't the biggest fan of this kind of situation, but he deals with it because he knows who is in charge.
Got it.
Eldwin's going to walk over and grab the bag of money and put it into the bag of holding.
Cool. Boom.
Tolius will hand it off.
But yes, if there's anything else you need, just do come find Salk. I might be a little busy dealing with...
That should be no issue. Thank you very much for your time, Master Heartthrone.
Of course.
And Metolius takes a deep bow and turns to face the rest of the group.
Okay. He kind of he does the same to you, Metolius, and goes, again, thank you so much for saving our town. The monster that you faced in the swamp seems, though obviously deadly, you killed a greater one, finding out of what we dealt with here. So thank you.
Just turns around and leaves.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you walk out. Salk stays behind. Seemingly you hear the door close behind you and conversation kind of goes forward. And finding you now have your money in hand.
You named him Torin, and so I imagine the entire scene he looks like Rip Torn.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I'm not alone. Good.
If he had
But that's
if he had
fine. I
little
think like Rip
streamers-
Torn looks like a D&D like NPC.
If he had little
Yeah,
streamers, he'd be
really looks like
throwing
a
them
D&D
around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you now walk out of his palatial estate, out the gate, and find yourself set in the middle of Greyhurst.
I pull these four aside to some kind of alleyway or something.
Not sketchy at all.
We shooting dice?
No, like, not in an alleyway, but
I
off
know,
to the
I
side
know.
where like an average passerby wouldn't hear us. I didn't get a good feeling about that, man. I couldn't get a concrete feeling, so I think... What if we tried to just tell Salk?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust. I used to rob from people like him a lot, so I don't necessarily trust
Rolling.
that guy.
No, not rolling.
Oh,
So maybe you were right.
pirate.
So maybe you were right, Eldwin. I don't know. But
Yeah, I had second thoughts about
Yeah,
that. Squishy. Sorry.
Oh my god.
I won't pretend
He
that
smelled
I'm
like
not
perfume.
happy. That's an odd way to judge a human, but no matter. I cannot say that I'm not happy that you did not tell them, but so I do not feel a need to tell Salk, but that should not come as a surprise.
Yeah. I don't necessarily feel the need to tell him, but I'm not going to stop you if that's what you want to do.
I guess the less they know is somewhat better for them.
Yeah, I also agree with that.
Yeah, let's just leave.
I think the less they know, the better for us and the better for them.
Unless we got anything we want to buy.
I think we should take one last look around the shops in case they got anything new that could help us on our journey. Restock a few rations.
Fair.
Good plan.
And be off.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good to me.
So, as you decide that, you kind of take a,
Hey, who has the plant dog? I always forget.
We didn't buy the plant dog. No.
Sorry.
No pets in D&D. They're the worst idea. Are you watching Critical Role right now?
Yeah.
Worst idea ever.
I'm not caught up.
I know.
Anyways.
So, you walk and find your way to the marketplace. You see your usual hustle and bustle there. All the shops still open. The Howling Stag, the End, and everything else in between. Is there anywhere specific you wish to go?
I returned my ale cup because I'm a responsible paladin.
Word. Kaiden,
I
thanks
gave
you.
mine to Metolius to return because
Yeah.
I'm lazy.
And
And he's already
And
on the
he's a
way.
responsible paladin.
Yeah.
He walks with his butt cheeks clenched.
No, I do
My
not.
lack of
Well, maybe after last night,
responsibility and
Ghrimtuk
my
walks
lack
with his
of
butt
wanting to
cheeks
litter.
clenched.
That's pretty much where I'm at. So conflicting.
I would like to go to either the general store and or the smith and weaponry shop.
Okay. I mean, you can all go separately, you can all go together. It's up to you guys.
Let's just go together.
Okay. Where would you like to go first?
Blacksmith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So-
actually, yeah, blacksmith, and then we'll go to the general store, and then we'll go to Wilbus Nagels. Did I get his name right?
You did.
Yay!
Well, I suppose before we go, I should ask: does anybody need this old set of leather armor that I have? I upgraded to this nicer set, but I figured I'd ask.
I don't think it fit me. And it's not really my style.
That is true.
Maybe you can hawk it.
That is my plan. But I figured I would see if my traveling companions needed it first.
Many thanks, Elduin.
Metolius bangs on his breastplate and says, "A few years ago, I might have taken you up on that, but I saved my coin to buy this beauty."
It is quite a beauty. Yeah, so to the
Blacksmith.
Okay.
blacksmith.
So you walk down, you find your way to the Jolly Mantle. You do hear that very rigorous ting of a hammer on anvil. You also hear a second ting, followed softer, but there. Ting, 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 ting.
Alright, let's go inside.
As you open the door, you see a kind of a dense black smoke coming from the chimney, and you see the forge alight in the back. And you see that same heavily muscled, scaled red dragonborn with his back to you. And you see a heavy hammer landing upon what seems to be a glowing blade of some kind he's making at the moment. And you walk through the door. And you see him kind of in his motion, ting! And you hear a second ting. You don't exactly see that second ting coming from anything.
Did you just tell us this guy's name?
I already told him it is Nishkund.
Okay. Thank you. I just needed a reminder.
No worries.
Greetings, Nishkund. Do you have a moment?
You hear a heavy and he kind of wheels his head back, hammer up in hand, and he sees you. And you see him throw his hammer down and with heavy footfalls kind of stomp towards you all. And he stops by getting right up in Ghrimtuk's face. And you feel the hot breath of this red dragonborn kind of move over your skin. As I'm pretty sure he's standing about eye to eye with you.
Not for long.
Yeah!
You see him kind of in this very
That's
deep,
Ghrimtuk.
in this very gruff voice. There's a bit of soot on his scales, giving this kind of flash of black over it. He goes, "Was it you?" He kind of looks around.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
"Was it you that brought back my apprentice?"
Is that who he was? Yeah. Let me see. Let's get it out. We brought someone back.
And you see, actually, now that you're not kind of faced with this raging, rushing forward dragonborn, you see behind him that same child
But I'll be like, just, hi, Alden.
And you see him behind you. He kind of like waves, and you see the Dragonborn kind of look back behind him, and he continues. And he stops for a second as he does, and just gives you a gigantic hug, Ghrimtuk.
Oh,
and he would like to roll a athletics check to try to pick you up. You can feel free to roll athletics, or
I got, it is a 15.
you feel your feet removed from the ground.
That's not often.
But the squeeze is tight but not aggressive. And you at the peak of this kind of lift, he drops you and you land on your feet just fine. And he goes,
I cannot thank you more. It is very hard to find a good apprentice these days. Alden is a very, very good apprentice.
I'm so glad to hear it.
Metolius just like busts out laughing. He's just like, that is glorious!
Belly rolls.
Yeah.
Belly laugh, I mean.
he kind of looks as you're all looking forward.
For that, anything you need in my shop is, I will say, at a much lower rate. If there is anything I can help you with.
Well, that is wonderful. I do have business. I cannot say for the rest of my group, but...
Indeed, good blacksmith. I, too, have business.
You too, as well. What business can I help you with?
So first I'm curious, do you carry bows of a magical nature?
He kind of looks around and goes, I think so. I certainly... How much time do you have? I could make one.
Oh, not enough time for making. It would be only if you had one in stock.
Sadly, I don't believe so.
see.
I've made a lot for our hunters and for the guard.
I see.
Sadly, I don't have any left over.
Aha, okay. Well, in that case, I would take a bundle of arrows off of you.
Of course. I will give it to you for 5 silver.
5 silver, I will take that. Make it 2 bundles if you have the stock.
Which totals up to 1 gold.
Yeah, I could also use some crossbow bolts as well.
He kind of takes a look.
Same. 5 silver for...
Okay, I'll take 2 bundles.
Excellent.
And before the gold exchange is hand, I do have this old set of leather armor that I'm not using anymore. I was wondering if I might be able to sell it to you in exchange for some gold or a bow, but it seems that is not an option. I'm curious if you are interested in it.
I will offer you 10 gold, so by that means I could give you 8 back
8 back?
to cover your amounts of ammunition, if you wish.
This is acceptable to me. Yes, I would take your 8 gold and the 2 bundles of ammunition. Thank you.
You see him kind of snap his fingers, and at that, the apprentice runs up and grabs the armor from you and takes it in the back.
Great. Subtract that from the bag of
Is
holder.
there anything else?
Go ahead.
Do you have any magical weapons available for purchase? Already made. We are on the same schedule.
Not many. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Just something that hits harder. I can use with a shield.
And something from someone of my stature. Preferably 2-handed. Heavy, if you have it. If not, to be expected.
I'm sorry. I don't have much in the way of magic items for you, sir.
It's quite alright.
But again,
I have ways to compensate for that.
if you had time, it takes a week.
That's fine.
But I would offer it at a very good rate.
It's understandable. Unfortunately, we do not have that kind of time.
If you ever find yourself back, send word.
I'll do that, thank you.
Do you have potentially a bow for someone of my stature?
A bow. I have
Someone of our stature, I guess I should say.
have a longbow, just of regular nature.
No, I'm thinking something larger.
That a longbow?
Yes. Higher. Something you really have to use your back to pull.
No,
I do not.
Fair.
He kind of
A
looks at you.
man-sized slingshot, I believe, is what he was asking for.
There are heavy
Do you have-
longbows.
Do you have like crossbows?
No, thank you. That's fine. I'm more just looking to dabble. We already have an excellent bowman.
Elduin blushes.
If there is not anything else.
No. Thank you for your time. And take care, young.
Yep.
Wait, Alton? Yeah, that's right. Take care, young Alton.
Half-orc,
Yes.
stay behind. I would like to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
Do the rest of you head on to the next?
Message received. Bro time engaged.
Bro time. We're gonna fist bump hard.
Is that what they call it?
Too busy 24 hours.
He's gonna look at you and just know
You
your
now
name
have
and
one
just be
level
like,
of exhaustion. I'm just kidding.
No.
Careless Whisper starts playing.
he's gonna look at you and go,
Ghrimtuk, you son of a bitch.
I believe the rest us three leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come with me.
and he brings you actually behind the counter.
Tight. Follow him.
And he brings you in the back. You see the little one scamper forward and kind of take over watching the front. And he brings you to a small room. This seems to be just a somewhat of storage, but also seems to be a place that he may house things of kind of reverent nature.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few trophies. There are even like skulls of some beasts hanging up on the wall.
Bitch shit.
And he looks at you and goes,
In my day, long before you were upon this world, I walked this land not as just a blacksmith. I walked this land and fought things of a much grander nature, ones that attacked many a time on the villages I lived upon, ones that you might know in the class of giants.
Have I seen giants?
probably.
Okay. Cool.
I would say in your travels, especially in the outlying lands,
Mhm.
probably fought a few like stone
Okay.
giants
Cool.
or things like that, or maybe even just like, your basics, hill
Nice.
giants.
And he goes, I have something that I have yet to find use for. But as a man who also wields weapons like our ilk, I think keeping it in someone's hands would be a much better thing than letting it go to dust.
And you see him pull out this oddly long form wrapped in this fine silk almost. And he kind of unbinds it. And at the top, you see a handle definitely not as big as your axe. Two-handed, yes, but rough, almost bone-like in its make. And it leads down to this long hilt and guard that seems curved and gnarled and old, then finally finishing in this two-sided blade that reaches to the ground.
Like a greatsword?
Yes, like a greatsword.
Okay, cool. I was trying to conceptualize it. But
And
yeah.
he goes,
This has felled many of their ilk and will help you if you find yourself against their kind.
Look it up. Kind of hefted in my hand.
it feels perfectly weighted.
Have this. You are one of the few that saved my apprentice. You are a man of my caliber. Deserve to keep this.
Put one hand on his shoulder and say, "Thank you. If I do encounter any of these giants, I promise you I'll bring back an ear or two for you. Or maybe even a head. I will say one thing, is that not only will I use this sword to fell any evil beasts that we come across in this land, but I'll look out to make sure there's nobody out in the main room. I fear dark times may be coming to this land. Do what you can. Store what food that you can. Make sure that your weapons are put sharp. I cannot say what is coming, but take care of the boy and know that dark times may soon be on us."
You see his eyes, the slits of his pupils kind of go very fine, and he kind of furrows his very rough, scaly brow at you.
I'll say to him, I think you may know or have seen dark times yourself.
He stops you almost before you finish your statement and goes, I understand, and I will. May its blade ever stay sharp in your hands. May the blood that it spills bask you in its glory.
I just give him the man nod. And then the one hand on the shoulder squeezes a little bit. And then I just turn around. On the way out, rub the little guy's hair, tussle it a little bit, and then just hit the door.
Cool.
Cool guys never look back.
No.
Right.
Okay. Are you guys just waiting outside for him? Did you go to the next?
Well, I have interest in seeing our friend Larbel Torin again. If you've had forgotten, he's had a scroll that I was interested in.
Very well. I will stop at Nagel's on the way.
Yeah, fine by me.
I am gonna focus on my new toy on the way to
Which one of them is the general store in Cumberland? One of them was...
The general store is, let's see.
Was that also the alchemist /
That was the blue apothecary.
Okay, cool. I'm going to stop in Nagel's to see if he's picked up anything useful.
Blue quarry. And that is Alian Ercus. It's the high elf you guys saw the pompous one.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
yeah. But you're stopping in Nagel's?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ghrimtuk, I'm guessing they already left, so you kind of walk out to find no one there.
I'd head to the apothecary.
Okay.
To get some potions or whatever.
Cool. Let's say, who would like to go first?
I'll go, sure.
Okay.
Larbel, how are you?
You see the small and very excitable gnome, as she was before, kind of like, oh, hi, hello, Elduin, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Good memory. I believe that you have a scroll that I had previously expressed some interest in. A scroll of Phantom Steed, if I remembering correctly.
I do.
Yes, do you still have it?
Yes. And the price tag has kind of kept it in my possession for quite a while.
Yes, well, I believe you said that it was 600 gold pieces previously?
500.
500, that's much better. Well, in that case, yes, I would like to purchase that.
Sure. Absolutely. And she kind of like ruffles around, no one has actually asked for this before, and kind of like, one sec, and she goes to the back and does her whole thing. You hear things being thrown down, not falling, but like being like thrown off shelves, and finally she comes back with this wide scroll, and this kind of has on either side these beautiful, intricate, like, ends that kind of keep it wrapped around. And yeah, she hands you the scroll.
I don't suppose you did you hear the hubbub with Gaia Bouvaz?
I saw. It was terrible. I didn't know he was such a monster.
Yes. You heard that it was us that did that, yes?
You cut off his head.
No, we found out that he was the monster.
Oh.
Yes. I was wondering, could you maybe knock a few gold off of this?
You roll persuasion.
Go Eldwin.
That's gonna be solidly mediocre. I've not rolled a persuasion ever.
Yeah.
9.
Oh.
She kind of looks at you and goes, I guess I could knock off maybe 50 gold? I appreciate your service, but it is a very, very expensive spell.
I understand, yes. Yes, that is great. I appreciate the gesture, thank you.
So yeah, 450, please.
Done.
And you have the maps, right? Did I give you the maps?
You did, yes.
Okay. Yeah. I was just.
those.
Yes. Well, if you're still in town, feel free to come by. We can always chat about scrolls and spells and things like that. And I do love a good book.
I would love that. The next time in town, I will make sure to come by.
Oh, you're leaving? Okay.
Yes.
Well, yes. If you come back to town, please come say hi. We'll have a nice cup of tea.
Sounds delightful. I've heard something about a sweet nettle tea. It was great.
It's invigorating.
All right.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so that ends over. Rain, are you going with Metolius?
I suppose the only thing I was possibly wanting was some potions.
I mean, you could
Are
head
you,
over to
like-
the apothecary, the Blue Quarry Apothecary, if you wanted, and that would in turn, I guess, probably have you meet up with Ghrimtuk.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm also planning to go there after Nagels.
Okay, well, actually, yeah, I might want to stop in Nichols too,
Okay.
so I will follow Metolius.
Okay.
I stride confidently through the door, and I call out, Nagel!
You hear him kind of call out from behind the
He's 2
thing.
feet from you.
Well, I was looking at the desk, and he's like so far down, shorter than me, that I probably looked right over
God damn
him.
it! I want to go off that, but no.
Yeah.
No, he goes like, "What? Oh, it's you guys. Welcome back. What?
Yes, my morose friend. I was wondering if you'd, acquired any new goods in the last couple days.
I don't know. I mean, I've gotten a few people coming through, but like, not a ton. I got this new wand. It makes really nice music, but goddamn if it doesn't annoy everyone around you. Do you need a wand?
No, sir. I have a lute. I don't need a wand to.
I mean, but
play
then you
music.
wouldn't have to play. You could swing the wand and play the lute and be like a band. I mean, granted though, it's just gonna come out of air, so you got to do it in the right place.
It's just gonna come out what?
Of the air, so you're gonna have to do it in the right place. Like you can't just do it. That's why everyone gets annoyed whenever I do it. I've used it at least now at the bar twice, and God, they hate that.
That's awesome. Outside the game, what does this wand do?
You use it, and you use an action to create music out of thin air.
Okay,
But
it
it
has
is
to have
abrasively loud music that doesn't go away for an X amount of time. It's in Xanathar's. It's the wand of
okay,
conducting.
all right. I see. Well, that sounds like a bit loud for my taste. I'm used to being quiet.
That's what I was saying. It is
What's
loud.
the range on this?
It sounds like it would be louder than I could play my lute.
Could be.
So I don't think Metolius is into it.
And I don't know. I still got that.
Otherwise, I would be totally
I
into
still
it.
have that pot. Like, if you guys want the plant dog, I still have that.
There's no time for pets on an adventure, my friend.
I
knew this guy who had a fairy dragon once. It drove him crazy.
God damn it. I mean, I did just recently have like one guy come through, and he left a few like of these weird. He says they're like invigorating potions or something.
Wait, what? Invigorating potions?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried.
Was he
them.
a short gnome? Very energetic?
He looks at you, and you see one eyebrow go up.
Did he go by
I
the
mean-
name of Marabi?
He responds to that, but before that, you just see his eyebrow go up and go like, "We're all kind of short. It's kind of a gnome trait."
I don't see it.
I don't see height.
You're just like everyone else to me.
He was. Yeah, that was weird. Do you know him?
I met him on the trail with my compatriots. He's quite an interesting fellow.
I mean, I'd say then that these are good potions. Should I take one? Like, how should I be selling them? He told me that they would get your get up and go going. I don't know what that means.
I believe he's talking about sex.
I mean, why would he sell me like sex? But what does that even mean? They're potions.
He intends for you to sell them to other people who have problem with their natural born parts.
There are so many ways it could. Anyways, he also left this like a really odd. I think it's an axe. I mean, I don't really know. It's kind of dirty, but like, I'd say if it's something. It looks okay. It looks sharp.
Well, let's see it.
He kind of pulls it out, and as he puts it down, you see what does look like a very dirt encrusted axe. It's weird, but you see that the edge itself is pristine and shining, as though no dirt has touched it. And the rest, it feels like you see a very well carved handle that does seem to be caked, but you can tell underneath it. And he just looks at it and goes, "I don't know, I bought it for just a few gold, and like, I guess I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't need a dirty axe." You need a dirty axe?
Good question. I will cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
I just kind of caught my eye, and so I stand back and say a couple words and make a couple hand motions, and I can detect
Does
magic.
he always do this when he's deciding if he wants to buy an axe?
Kagebushin no jutsu.
Yes. Every time.
You're not wrong.
You hear them talking besides you, Matolis, and you hear, does he always like that? And Rain kind of nods like, yeah. And you do. And there's a Defiant magic aura off this.
I
It
assume
glows
all
blue.
The wand in the pot
Oh, yeah.
also emit a magic aura.
It's an axe?
It is an axe.
Yeah. Axe of dirtiness?
How much do you want for this?
I don't know, like maybe 35 gold. Like, I can't sell it for much, I don't think. It's a decent edge. Probably cut wood really well.
I pick it up and I take a couple steps back and take a couple practice swings with it.
It feels perfect in your hands.
Is it a one-handed or two-handed?
It's one-handed.
Nice.
It feels like I don't know, it feels like it was made for your hand. It sinks in just right. And then
Like a glove.
after the first one, as you kind of swing it, you do an arc down, and there's this odd little spark that kind of emanates off it. And it's weird. It almost just like the light catching it, maybe. You can't really tell.
Uh-huh.
But to you, you noticed something like almost like a spark coming off of the blade.
Does it ping on my detect magic? Like when the spark appears?
I
Or,
think it stays
like-
equally as magical.
Okay. I was going to say maybe my eye catches it because I'm detecting
Roll
magic.
Arcana check. I'll give you advantage because you got detect magic going.
That's good.
That's good.
That's decent, but not as good as the first one. Well, 16.
It almost feels like you have something in your hand imbued with evocation magic.
I will.
That's $35.
Yeah, I will pay him $40 gold pieces.
Oh, did you want one of the potions too then?
No, sir, you can keep that. I do not need it.
Okay. I mean, I guess, there's anything else?
I don't know if they work, but you should try it. But you should only drink one.
Okay. I wasn't planning on drinking any, but I'll try it.
I mean, I don't know what tickles your gnomish fancy, so do what you will.
Kind of looks at you, and with a very solemn sigh, like Droopy Dog goes, not really anything.
Well, it doesn't help you have such a dour attitude, my friend. You need to buck up.
I've tried. It doesn't always sit.
You need to get drunk and dance. I've known plenty of spunky gnomes like you. Well, not like you. I've known other gnomes of very, very high energy. You, not so much. But you should try to emulate them. You know, dance, sing, laugh.
I'd imagine at this point we'd probably be showing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come in during your pep talk.
Well, I mean, but thank you very much for this axe. It is delightful, and though it is dirty, I'm going to go clean it promptly.
Okay. I thought the dirt was just part of the axe, but okay.
What do you do with that dirty axe?
Wouldn't you like to know, friend Ghrimtuk?
It just looks dirty.
I know.
I didn't pay a lot for it.
I did not pay a lot for it.
That's probably the best.
Yes.
Does anyone else do anything, or am I just going to get back to what I was doing?
Do you have any healing potions or things of that nature?
I have these blue potions.
I got one of those too.
I just like give Albus like this look behind Ghrimtuk, like pointing at Ghrimtuk and like waggling my eyebrows really big and like smirking and
He just kind of looks at you and just like, okay, if there's nothing else you guys need. No, I don't have any healing potions.
Damn it!
That's just down the street.
it's the wrong store, Ghrimtuk.
I forgot.
really-
This is the guy with the plant dog, right?
Yeah.
How's that going, by the way?
It's wilting, but I think it's just because I need to water it more.
You
Water
need-
your plant dog.
Make sure it gets plenty of sun.
That's inconsiderate.
I mean, I take it for walks.
As a plant owner and a pet owner,
A plant dog is a responsibility.
you should know that.
He just kind of looks very overwhelmed right now. I'll water my plant, dog. I'm
Dungeons and
sorry.
Dragons dads! Bam!
Dungeons and Dads.
Real dad.
Dungeons and dads.
That's the next module we're making, guys.
Yep.
Alright, we're out of here. Just turn around and leave.
I couldn't handle that one. Alright, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Okay.
On our way out, I look at him and I just say, "Don't listen to him. You do you."
Don't encourage him to kill the plant. It's a dog too.
It is a plant dog. He just kind of like saunters back behind the counter and continues doing whatever the fuck he was doing.
I like that, gnome. As we go on to the apothecary.
Okay. So you see the sign for the Blue Quarry Apothecary. And then you see, as you walk in, the very highfalutin high elf putting new small things on the shelves and things like that. New little jars on the shelves behind the counter, as well as restocking other bits and bobs all around.
Shopkeep. Do you have any
Alwyn, thank you.
Yeah,
That's my
okay. Do you have any potions for sale?
name. Yes.
Nice. Okay. I went to the plant dog guy down the road and
Plant dog guy? Well, I don't know what you mean.
He's talking about Wilbus Nagel.
Oh, yes. That little rain cloud of ours. Yes, of course.
chipper.
I do have healing potions. I also have a few other potions too. I also, of course, have a wide variety of goods and services if you need.
What do you have in the way of magical items and things of that nature?
Healing potions? Other potions of that ilk?
Yes, magical in nature. You know, I had one the other day that made me grow real big. Stuff like that.
I have one that could make your strength better, but I don't know if it would...
No, that's almost insulting.
I could make you breathe underwater, talk to animals better, or at least
Maybe all that stuff. Well,
make them very
that's a
friendly.
lie.
You can
How much
breathe
are the
underwater?
breathe underwater
Yeah.
ones?
Well, they're 180 gold.
A piece?
A piece.
Alright.
I'm a
I'll
pretty
take
good
one of
swimmer.
those.
Okay.
Along with maybe, like, 4 healing potions.
Regular or greater, my dear?
What are the pricing?
150 for greater with 50 for regular.
I'll have 2 of the graders from you. Well, hold on. I had a potion the other day that made me breathe fire. Did you have something like that?
Not anymore.
I believe you bought that here.
I
You
know.
did.
I just it was cool.
It was
I
very
feel
rare
like I didn't
potion.
use it as much as I should have.
How much were the graders?
Graders are 150.
I will take one of those.
I just
Yeah,
want to
I'll
do cool
take
things.
one of those
That's 600 so far.
and 2 of the regular strength.
700 altogether for all 3 of you.
I will take 150 out for my potion.
What else do you have that's just weird?
Ball bearings, caltrops.
Oh, no, I just meant like potions. I'm trying to experiment more.
No, those are all the newer potions I've gotten in.
Ghrimtuk's experimental.
So it'll be
It takes a bit of time to make them, and I craft them myself.
The other day I grew really big. And the same day almost I breathed a bunch of fire. I'm trying to branch out.
that'll be 430 for mine, right? 1 greater, 2 regular, and the
Water breathing, yeah.
okay.
Is there anything else I can get you for? I have a wide variety of... Are you staying in town or are you leaving?
No, we are leaving.
Do you need any supplies for the road? Rations?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do have one question. Do you have any large sacks, like a cloth sack, perhaps?
Yes, I think so.
Yes,
Just basic, nothing fancy?
yes, just basic. Yes,
Yes, I mean 5 copper for just a general rucksack.
large rucksack. Okay, yeah, thank you. I'll take that.
Okay.
Do you have any diamonds?
Do I have any diamonds?
Are we robbing this guy?
Shut up. No, we're not robbing this guy.
Shut up.
That would be to invite the darkness, my friend.
Okay.
Not in particular. I don't really deal in that kind of component.
That's fine.
myself.
I just thought I'd ask on a lark.
I mean, I would say if you're looking for that kind of stuff, the spellcrafter down the way at the Forsaken Pen may have something of what you're looking for. She deals in scrolls and books, but she also deals in spell components. I deal in liquids and potions.
Well then, I'll take 5 day of ration because that seems like a reasonable amount to me.
That would be
2.5 gold.
Yep, 2.5 gold.
Okay.
Alright, I'll do the same.
Well, I'll use some of this massive amount of silver I have.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
Is there anything else I have?
I'll get rations as well. That's two gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alduin, do you need to go see the magic scroll person down the road or whatever?
Oh no, I've already visited.
Oh.
Visited Larbol. Yes, it was lovely. I have the scroll. Would you like to learn about it?
Yep, sure. I got this giant sword from that blacksmith.
Oh, delightful.
Looks like it could really kill some shit.
Indeed. Yeah, this scroll, if I am reading it correctly, it will let me summon a phantom horse. Isn't that great?
Have a horse?
This is a special horse. I think it can travel very quickly.
Like that unicorn?
That's
a pretty special horse.
That is special. I think it is. I think that is a bit different.
Metolius is like, that's true.
So it's like that?
No. It's, it will not be summoning a unicorn, but it will be a very fast spectral horse of sorts.
It's similar to...
Like those ghosts we fought?
It's similar to my power to summon Varys, my elk mount.
You're getting an elk.
But it's different. It's a wizard spell.
All right, you got bye. Just leave.
Also to note, Elduin, the sack you have, think of it more like your standard issue, like army, like sack that goes from like your chin to the floor, large.
Yeah,
that's why, because the regular sack in here is half pound and it's 1 copper, so it's a much larger than that.
Yeah, I wanted a big one.
You got a big one. That's why it's 5 copper.
Awesome.
Just for
Crazy.
reference to the listeners and.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else I can get you before you all decide to go riding out on your ghostly mounts?
I think that's it for me, good sir, and thank you for...
Ready to ride off into the sunset.
Yes.
Okay.
Or ma'am, actually, right?
Sir.
No, this is the elf, sorry.
Also pretty rude. Insulted 2 shopkeepers today.
I don't think I insulted Nagel, personally. I don't believe Metolius thinks he insulted Nagel.
So, Metolius, you run back to
That
the
makes it more
Forsaken
insulting.
Pen, I guess?
Yes. Hello, I was wondering if you had any diamonds.
That is a very direct way to do it, but she kind of looks like this. I mean, yeah.
I think Metolius is a very direct person.
You're looking for what, spell components?
Yes.
What variety? What size, style, shape?
Outside the game, are
Color?
we doing 1 diamond worth 300 gold or 300 gold worth of diamonds?
I say I would give it to you at 300 gold worth of diamonds.
Okay.
But not when it's including things like diamond dust.
No, I have a 50 gold diamond. And
Okay.
I think 1 diamond worth 300 gold probably wouldn't be that big. I bet you they're pretty high value.
That's true.
'Cause you could get
basically,
diamonds
I
like
wanted to
a
use my
couple
50
thousand.
gold diamond to help get to the grand total of 300.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I was asking.
I mean, I have smaller
dungeon
diamonds
master.
that can add up to it, or I could give you one of that size.
I'll take 250 gold worth of assorted diamonds, please.
Okay.
If you have that.
I think I do, yeah. I have many gems. Do you need anything else? A pinch of newt, a bit of sour grass.
No, I do not believe so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, she pulls out a small bag and she kind of puts it out in front of you on a little tray and shows you the amount. 250 gold.
This looks quite fine and good to me. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Can I retroactively change that large rucksack to just a regular sack?
Yes.
I'm gonna put sand in it, but I realized I can't actually like.
I mean, that would be
large
a lot of
rucksack of
sand. That is a lot of sand.
That's a lot of sand. Exactly.
Yes.
Can it just be a normal
So
sack?
Guys, I'm worried about Elduin. He's got a rucksack full of sand.
So, in turn, he gives back...
Taking loud
You
scouts
get
death really
4
weird.
copper back. And he gives you a regular size rucksack.
We all grieve in our own ways.
I think...
No worry, guys. It's gonna be great.
Metolius, you have your diamonds. Elduin has his correct size sack.
In the middle of battle, Elduin just hands you a rucksack full of sand to
It says,
Ghrimtuk.
"Don't forget."
Yeah, never forget.
Never forget. What the fuck is this?
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to do?
No, I believe unless anyone wants to purchase climbing kits, because Ghrimtuk and I already did, but
Yeah.
Elduin, we are about to climb a mountain.
I don't think I need one.
Yeah,
Wait, what do I have?
I've seen what you can do.
I seen it.
How much are the climbing kits?
They're like 25 gold, I believe.
We're actually gonna climb a mountain, huh? And there's no path? Do we know if there's a path?
You do not know if there's a path.
Sorry, say that again?
You do not know if there's a path.
Mm-hmm. So are we all just gonna climb a mountain? Is that what we're about to do?
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, Metolius is going to climb a mountain.
Yeah.
In the third person.
Climber's kit is 25, by the way.
Yeah.
It will prevent you from falling.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's got pythons and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna get a climber's kit as well, because,
We can cast Ghrimtuk as Sly Stallone.
Yeah. Tight. And then just holding Elduin and
Yeah.
gets slightly.
Some fantasy helicopter shows up.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
John
so now
Lithgow's there for some reason.
everyone but Rain has a climber's kit.
He's a hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Anything else before you guys decide what else you're doing in town?
Am I
Nope.
tripping? John Lithgow was in that movie.
I don't remember.
He was the bad guy, which is really crappy. But anyways, yeah. No.
No, I think we're done.
Okay.
I might swing by the bar to fill my flask, but then I'm done.
Okay. With hard
Yes.
hard liquor?
Yes.
Okay, for your flask, she gives it to you for like a gold.
Okay, cool. Then I'm done.
Okay.
Elduin, do you think you could take a look at this sword for me? I think it might have some kind of properties. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, sure. Just when we're resting on our travels, I'd happy to. I assume we would rather be on our way at this moment.
Yeah, I think we should just leave town.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's just not say anything to anybody.
Oh, I agree.
I usually find that to be the best course of action.
Yeah, let's just get going. We were gonna talk to people, but
Much like her bedroom leaving. Zing!
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys decide to pack up and head, you head out of town going westward towards the mountain.
Nope.
Yep.
We're gonna head out in a different direction and loop around. I was thinking.
Okay.
So we should. I want to talk to these guys about it.
Sure.
I prefer to not have them know the direction we're leaving.
No, you're right.
That's not a bad
You
idea.
make a
It's
valid
worth the
argument.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, Rain. I'm surprised you didn't think of that. That seems...
Sure.
Just calling her out. Wow. Rude.
So yeah, we're going to head out. I say let's head back the way we came and then loop around.
It seems like a lot of time. Why don't we just exit south back to
That's what I was
the
gonna
main
suggest.
road and then...
I mean, we could do that too. I just figured we knew the other one. But yeah, that's fine. Just go out the south exit, go out a mile or so, and then loop through, cut
Okay.
through.
We want to head east or west,
West.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well then.
Let's do that.
Okay. So you begin to head south as you travel on your roundabout way towards the mountain. And the scene shifts.
Oh, I whistle when we get out of town and my elk comes running.
Okay.
My Varys.
Oh, wait. You asked if he could look at your thing, though, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna wait.
I was
We're
just
gonna
gonna
do it on the
like
road.
when we're breaking on the road.
Okay.
While
Yeah.
traveling.
So like
Cool.
when we leave the city, I'll just...
Sure.
In the travel montage.
So then, as I said, the scene changes. You now, well, you all don't, but the scene sets within a hall of tall columns lined with guards. And upon a high pedestal sits a beautiful red-haired woman in purple robes, and a kneeling dark figure sits in front of her. And you hear two words come out of her lips. Find them. And with a bow, the thin, dark figure stands, throwing his hood over his horns, and leaves the room. Once again, the scene shifts to now horsemen riding alongside this hooded, horned figure that you all have been very well introduced to. They rush forward on a breakneck pace towards what they only imagined to be the last place any of these adventurers would have been seen. Stopping amongst the ruins of the crypt where the gem was found, The men jump off their horses, and Enoch stands there waiting. Moments later, minutes later, the men come back out, empty-handed, and with a flick of a wrist and a dagger quickly sinking into one of them as he falls dead on the ground. Enoch's head cranes westward, and a grin and a crazed look in his eye is all that's left as we come back to you guys.
Alright.
You're on the road.
Pretend you know nothing.
Yeah.
My greatsword.
Yes. All right.
On the road, as you're traveling south, you look over this sword to find, after you do your identify spell, you find it to be a great sword of giant slaying. There's a lot of stuff.
I'm going to guess it helps you slay giants.
What? No.
Well,
Actually-
at its base, it's a +1 greatsword.
Right, at the base it is?
Yeah,
Alright.
that's just like the all-the-time features.
So, it is a +1 to attack and damage with this magic weapon. When you hit a giant with it, the giant takes an extra 2d6 damage of whatever weapon type you're using, and then must succeed on a DC 15 strength saving throw or fall prone.
Jesus.
You just get to like Louisville Slugger.
For the
giants.
purpose of this weapon, giant, quote unquote, refers to any creature with the giant type, including ettins and trolls.
Ettins and trolls?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. That's
What is an ettin? How do I spell that?
Ettins are the things you fought at the front of the orc keep. The thing with the two heads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen both Ettins and trolls
You have.
on this campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, you find this great sword to be one which now explains his meaning behind his words. Ghrimtuk.
Yeah.
That he once felled giants with this from they were attacking his village.
That's badass.
Metolius will just clean the axe as he goes.
As you kind of pour water over it, the dirt almost washes off as though it has a fine, slick film of like oil already upon it. As you remove the dirt, you see this wonderful, intricate carving of almost like what seems to be jagged, lightning-esque kind of runes in it, like filing out of a held fist with like storm clouds underneath it.
Alright.
You see it almost now that it's all cleaned off. The clean edge does not denote the color. The steel itself is almost a blue.
I feel good about my purchase.
Yeah.
Can't wait to use it in battle. And time permitting, on one of these stops, I would like to attune to the Pearl of Power if I can get it from Eldwin.
I mean, you're riding not super hard.
I realize
I'm
I
guessing.
don't have it in my possession.
So
Yeah. I guess, yeah, Eldon has all that stuff.
if you're riding at a decent pace, but you're not like pushing your horses, so I would say you could attune along the road. I'm okay with that.
Elduin, question for you. Out of Loud Scout's possessions, there was a jawbone with a jewel attached to it. Or some kind of a gem.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
imagining
unpolished.
we're like riding alongside each
Yeah.
other, having this conversation.
definitely.
The wind kind of whips through your hair as Ghrimtuk sidles up next to you.
Yes, I believe it is on my pack, gesturing behind me.
Would you mind if I had that? Is that something you had plans for?
I have no plans. I was merely keeping it for sentimental value.
I think I was going to do the same.
You were going to do the same.
Well, I was going to ask you for it, but we didn't really have a chance, and it seemed kind of crude at the beheading. We were busy.
Probably true, yes.
And then
Sure, yes. Do you want it now?
Yeah, I mean, while we're traveling, I have an idea of a thing to do. Sure. Do you mind holding my reins for a moment? Sure.
And I'll sort of like awkwardly turn behind me and fish it out of the bag of holding.
Okay,
Here you go. One
You think-
jawbone.
and it appears
Cool.
in hand.
Thanks. I'll wait till we stop and I'll put it in my bag for now.
Okay,
While that's happening, I sidle up next to Rain
okay,
on my horse, on my elk.
yep.
And we ride in silence for a few moments, and Metolius says, "'Tis a noble thing to want to save a child.
Thank you.
But your passion is strong, and I admire that. But don't let your passions override your instincts, your battle wit. You had good intentions charging in to save that child, but we could have gone about it a better way. When I see trolls, my blood boils, but I have to lock that away for a time, because I know that if I'm not careful, I'll slip, and I'll end up like my father, cold and dead in the ground, and I can't do that yet.
Fair point.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just saying we should just not get ahead of ourselves.
No, I agree entirely. I'll be more careful next time.
You seem like a professional, and I'm glad to be traveling with you.
Dungeons and Dads.
Antolius has no frame of reference. I don't know. He just saw someone charge in wantonly, and I think that's what he would say.
The ride continues.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it was very fatherly of you.
The ride continues as you've now made your way far enough south that you feel comfortable taking a hard westward turn. You've made it where the coast is a few miles off, though you can see through the waning trees the ocean along the side as you ride. You make that hard turn as you rush towards the mountain top ahead. You see it in the distance now, ahead of you. And you begin to charge more forward towards it. Hours later, as the day goes on, and you continue to push yourself, stopping for when need be, but moving forward ever more and continuing on your path, you start to find that the trees begin to grow thicker here as you're starting to move closer towards the forest again in even just a slight bit of fashion. Though a lot of these trees sit dead along the edge where the swamp lies, you see that there's kind of a split in this, a large, maybe once a path rode by horses and carts, but long misused and no longer as so widely traveled, though the ground kind of references that, where the grass is long dead. The ground is earthen and red in kind of the center. And you begin to see rises as the hills in front of you grow larger as you start to go closer and closer to this mountain.
Keep on moving.
Okay.
Yes.
We're a pretty stoic bunch today.
It's true.
Cool.
Rain is growing increasingly uncomfortable as, like, the forest is getting thicker, but she's not really reacting to it.
Okay.
Eldon's going to have Teak circling, sort of keeping an eye out to make sure that he surprises us.
I'd say roll a perception check for Teak.
He's got advantage on perception checks. With
Metolius will also be keeping an eye out.
That is a 17.
Okay. You wanted to...
Yeah, from my mount. I
Sure,
like
from the ground.
Natural 20.
Okay. So, as you're looking ahead of you, Metolius, you see a few things off in the distance, though with Teak's vantage point. Teak notices a bit of black smoke rising from the forest ahead of you.
Oh, shit.
Probably about a good couple miles off still, so a little ways, and it'll take you to get there, but he notices very much that kind of movement above the tree line, almost in a forward direction, like directly down this long, ancient road.
So if we keep going, we're going to find the source of this smoke.
Most likely.
Is this like small smoke or like large thing?
It looks more like campfire or like bonfire rather than like burning village smoke.
Okay. I will instruct the party that this is observed.
On that point, Metolius, you see wisps of smoke on the edges of the trees, but as you look up ahead of you, you notice From this distance, what look like birds circling the mountain, but no bird should be that big, as it is a sign that large of a
Oh my! Like a large animal is far, far away.
Especially with that nat 20, yeah.
Okay.
You look up to see things kind of circling and flying high in the mountains.
About how far off are they?
At the peak
I mean, they're
area.
yeah.
Mile out.
Yeah. So ahead of you seems to be black smokes of what seems to be maybe camping or fires or something, while above you sits some creature lazily flying in the air.
I'm just observing one or multiple.
It's hard to tell. They kind of get out of your sight for a moment, and
probably
then,
over the trees.
yeah,
back
and then another
into
one
the-
kind of flies
yeah,
in
okay.
sight. So it's hard to tell if it's the same one or multiple of them
Got it.
from where you are.
I think someone is camping ahead. Metolius will call out as we are riding forward.
That that would be the source of smoke. We should just be careful when we approach.
Okay. Continue forward.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Just keep moseying.
Do you know how far off it was?
Do I know how far off it was?
Because I don't think I could determine that.
I would say maybe at most like 3.5 miles from where you are.
Cool.
Perhaps we should stop and get off our mounts a mile out, maybe?
Perhaps. We don't necessarily need to assume it is a malicious group. And I can send Teak out for a bit of scouting.
Fair enough. I just know that outside of this, any civilization we've encountered on this island, that there has been things that wish us harm.
This is definitely true. We should definitely be careful. I'm just saying we don't necessarily need to dismount and
True.
be
Maybe I'm
careful
being
for
overly cautious.
everything. But
Yeah, I say we just ride forward. I'm not concerned too much.
Fair.
If anything, it's probably that weird gnome that came through town earlier.
Maybe it could be Marabi.
we press on.
Okay.
It's probably Marabi.
I mean, most likely.
When we get closer,
Yeah.
positively nearby, I would, like to send Teak out. To
Are you dismounting that mile out and then sending to go?
No. Still
They
on.
talked me out.
Still on horse.
Okay.
Yeah, but like a mile out, just being like.
Sure. So send Teak out again. I would like you to roll another visual perception check. How close does Teak get?
I would say he would go. So this is too far out for me to look through his eyes, but he would circle above
The campsite?
the campsite
Okay.
and basically just ascertain whether or not it looks like monstrous or humanoid. Would be my first thing.
Okay. So you have Teak fly ahead of you as you're a mile out, and he makes it above the campsite and kind of flits about and does a whole spin. What's Teak's AC?
Fantastic.
That's
He was a dirty 20 for perception.
Sure,
by
sure.
the way.
But he's too far out from you for you to see through his eyes.
That is true. His AC is 11.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a great question to get asked.
No.
Better question, what's Teak's stealth?
Well,
You see Teak off in the distance. Does 7 poof him? 7 damage.
oh yeah. He
Okay.
has 1 hit point.
Oh, that is a very easily killed bird. You see Teak fly and circle the campsite, and then a moment later, he's gone.
Did I see any sort of projectile?
Roll perception yourself. I'd say with advantage on your concern for your bird.
I rolled the same number. 14.
You do see something kind of fall once Teak disperses. A long shaft-like thing fall.
Okay.
Because again, I feel it makes contact, does the damage, and then Teak. So the thing loses momentum and falls.
Mm-hmm. So first thing, he's going to swear really loudly in Elven.
Ooh. Makes Metolius blush.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't.
He's like, there is no... not again. Well, it appears that I will need to resummon Teak, but for now we are without our I'm without my friend, and whoever is up there.
I take that to mean that he wasn't given a friendly reception.
Indeed not. It appears that it was struck with some projectile, maybe an arrow or a spear, but a spear would indicate a very, very powerful individual. So I think it is likely an arrow.
I see. Somebody's hungry, at least, I'd say.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there'd just been someone hunting.
It definitely could. It's hard to say, but well, shit.
Okay, so that is what you know. Teak has been poofed for one reason or another.
I am now going to dismount.
Okay. Ahead of you lies what seems to be some form of campsite that you have no true information about.
How far in are we? Or how close are we, I'd say?
Well, you continued past, I would say, the mile while Teak sent out, so you're probably about 3/4 of a mile there. So it would take you like 10, 15 minutes to get deep into it. But you find ahead of you sits this copse of trees kind of dead and like thinned in the center, where you actually see a rise in the hills and kind of a portion of it where it seems to be a higher level of ground, and you also see bits of what look like cobble and pieces of like stonework kind of laying throughout ahead of you in the midst of these like dead trees. But then around it on either side you have the swamp on the northern side, and on the southern side you have like a thicker portion, as though this area may have been cleared out at one point.
I see.
But then you also can now greater see the rising of black smoke from like bonfires.
I'm going to dismount, and then I'm going to turn to the party and say, I will be now going to scout out to see what this is. I'll travel quickly through the forest, and I will...
Do you think you should go alone?
...be making no sound. I do not intend to engage. I merely want to scout out. And with that, I'm going to, like, dramatic pull my hood up.
You see
the knight.
You see him pull a bit of mud up, does the whole thing, and then pull a red bandana.
They drew first blood.
Okay, so
why don't you take Rain with you? She's stealthy.
Rain, do you wish to accompany me?
If you want me to.
Probably for the best.
We'll wait here.
It is up to you, Rain.
I'll go.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you need stealth from me as well.
Yes, please. And what are you doing to minus your hood anything?
That it's a cloak of elven kind.
Cool.
It gives with the hood up I get advantage on stealth. So that's a natural 20.
Excellent.
Also a natural 20.
Oh fuck, guys. Ray needs to get that box and just pull it right over and kind of crawl in. 2 boxes. Get them cardboard boxes. Holy fuck. Okay, so you guys
We are the knight.
You guys pull yourself out of this kind of main drag and pull into the thick trees to the southern side and start to move through it noiselessly, completely silent, breaking no twigs, catching every one you would expect to make, even walking over downed dried leaves to no sound. You kind of start to flank this area, and inside you notice that you do see more of this cobble work and almost ruin-like stones where buildings once set. And then you sparsely see throughout tents set up in between areas that have open ground. And in between each of the set of tents there is a bonfire set. So it's about 3 per bonfire, except for one in the center which is bigger and set there with a single fire in there. But it also seems to be set in front of this odd... It almost looks like it could have been some form of religious fixture when it existed. But now it's just a pile of rubble. You also... I would like you to roll perception checks now that you've rolled your stuff.
Oops, that was...
That would be a 6 for Ray.
Ooh.
That was an 11 for Eldwin.
You guys are great. You guys are wonderful. You guys are amazing. You eyes see people walking through, but don't seem to pay... they don't seem to be by any means aggressive. Tribal, maybe? in their look, their clothes a little shabby.
Okay.
They're a few in, I would say, Ghrimtuk's ilk, not half work, but shirtless, and very little on their tops with like axes
Okay.
on their backs.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how primitive the tents looked. So
Muscle
like,
wizards.
Muscle Wizard cast fist every time.
That's true.
Automatic hit too. Just saying. They look decently, maybe not primitive, but like not by any means fully civilized in a way. Like
Okay.
from a town, more like maybe like tribal people.
They look familiar to you.
Yeah.
Wink.
Interestingly enough, though, as you watch a few of these, and they're the kind of more tribal-esque looking ones, there's also a few just like in common clothes with like shabby armor.
Okay.
There's one, though, that walks out that has kind of long braided black hair that seems to have a few baubles hanging down. They kind of glint in the light.
Mm-hmm.
And the clothes seem fancier. And he seems to have a short sword and a bow on his back. And then you see him kind of pull out this small bit of, I don't know, 2 tubes kind of wrapped together. And you hear him play a very calm tune as he walks away. He walks out of the main tent, by the way. The main
Okay.
one in the dead center.
Are we able to intuit whether or not this is an aggressive group of individuals?
I would say from what you've seen, especially your perception checks, it's hard to tell if they're aggressive. They look uncivilized.
Do they have like very clear territorial markers?
No.
Okay.
Such as the frogmen, the bullywugs?
Yeah, well, like, do they have like stakes in the ground with like a banner attached to it or anything like that?
No, they don't. They
Okay.
just have, the only thing that seemed to be added in from them seemed to be the tents as well as the fires.
Okay. Do they seem nomadic, like they travel a lot, or is it more of an established camp?
It looks more like nomadic in their
Okay.
nature. The tents are thin. They very easily put up and taken down.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to not carry much on their person when they're walking around.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say carry light.
Yeah. I'm going to like tap Rain on the shoulder and then indicate that we should return to the
Yeah.
group.
I nod. I don't actually say yeah.
Yeah, I say, I nod.
I do that.
I do this.
As you guys turn your back, roll one more perception check for me. Sound based this time, if that affects anything at all.
16 for Rain.
10.
What you do notice is 2 of the kind of tribal-looking individuals. One kind of, you hear a scuffle begin, and one kind of tackles the other. You see them fight, which still doesn't exactly tell you that, but it does look odd. And like, you see the other one kind of pull up a sack of something off of the guy he tackled down, put it into his like pocket, and kind of walk off as the other guy sits up bloodied.
Noted.
Okay.
But that would be it before you leave.
Okay.
Okay. Will we get back to the group then?
Yeah.
Unimpeded?
We're arm wrestling.
Cool.
Who won?
Nah.
Just comparing bicep size.
You both rolled a natural 20. I'm not going to make you roll a stealth check on the
Metolius
way
is
back.
feeling a little stronger today, I gotta say,
Mm.
than yesterday.
Mm. Okay.
I always feel strong.
I feel as strong as a Ghrimtuk. As well.
Whoa.
Pretty
At
fucking
that
strong.
point,
I know.
you see your other 2 companions as you...
I wanted
would
to
you guys
show
like to
Ghrimtuk how
actually,
strong
like-
I feel, and no, I don't want. We don't want to roll for it.
You can roll
I
off
just
on
wanna,
it. Athletics
I know.
against athletics.
That's just my subtle way of
just
saying
saying.
I bumped my strength.
Ah,
Not a
just
big
saying,
deal.
you could just roll athletics on some stump out there.
I'll do it.
Do it.
Let's arm wrestle.
All right.
You guys walk up
One
to find
time.
these 2 roll arm wrestling amidst the forest.
It's athletics.
Athletics.
Arm wrestling in the
Oh,
forest.
bad roll.
Ah, shitty.
Wow, guys.
I know. You go first.
12.
13!
No!
But unlike most times you found Metolius, you would expect Metolius to
Son
not
of a good.
to falter to you quicker. He puts up a damn good fight, but you're able to get. You just throw that little bit of like a.
When they
into
come
it.
back, they distract me, and Metolius
Sure.
is over. And
Oh shit!
Well,
Done.
if you ever want to go again, you know where to find me. Give him a little pat on the arm.
Don't worry, I'm gonna kick your butt someday.
So yeah, your
Training
2
montage.
companions walk back into where you are arm wrestling.
Metolius like springs to his feet. What did you see?
Did you guys see me beat Metolius in that arm wrestling contest? I bet they saw that.
I punched Ghrimtuk in the arm. Real hard. Oh gosh. 15? Is that
It does not hit my armor class.
Ah, son of a gun again.
You just give him a good solid thuck in the arm, but it doesn't.
It doesn't have quite the same effect Metolius really wanted to have.
No. It's like slamming a self-closing door. It just doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious to watch someone try. So,
What did you see? With your elf and tiefling eyes.
It's like, are you gonna do it?
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry, I have a problem.
What?
I don't know. We might want to avoid that shit show up there.
There's a group of maybe nomads.
Yeah, like nomadic.
Wild
tribal.
folk. Wild folk.
Do they look like?
How many tents would you say we saw?
2, 3, 6, 9, 10, give or take.
Like 10 tents.
10 tents.
10 tents.
10
10
tents.
tents.
Intense.
What did they look like?
Intense.
What was their dress? What were they wearing?
They were. I would say that only about half of them was clothed. It, frankly, especially looking at you, it rather resembled your garb.
Were they orcish? Human?
Did we see a race?
It all looked human.
All human. They were human. And we did witness a brawl of sorts. Someone had a bloody nose and a bag of something was exchanged.
Face, really.
Bloody face.
Would any of this sound familiar to me?
Tribal folk kind of
Yeah.
duel it
I
out.
just meant like with any kind of dress.
I mean,
none of that sounds.
I feel like if that's how they treat their own,
They'd probably know how to party.
fair.
Just put that out there.
I do not wish to brawl with a tribe that we run across. Perhaps we should give them a berth.
What were they fighting over?
Bag.
A
A
bag?
bag. It appeared, but it was. We did not have great visibility.
Yeah, like
Did
I
they have
would
a
get.
leader?
Yes. Well, there's a tent that was bigger than the rest.
Describe their leader.
The
Braided
person
hair,
in the
you said,
biggest
right?
tent.
No, darker skin, black braided hair,
Yeah.
baubles. Yeah, and like finer looking clothing with short sword, bow, and what look like some form of pipes.
I say that.
Okay. Well,
I do that.
I mean, we can go around them if you guys want. They don't sound particularly threatening to me. Just people.
Was it a bloody bag they were fighting over?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
The blood was on one individual's face, not the bag.
I mean,
Like from an outside perspective, I would assume money, but like
it just
I
seem
don't
like
know.
normal people to me. I don't see what the big deal is.
Well, do you
I've
wish
encountered many,
to go and?
Many a tribe who would plunder and steal. So it makes sense.
That is true. In
That's
which case,
racist.
we don't want to show our faces.
That's true.
A group of.
We'll have to
I'm
see if
fine
we can
either
find a way to get up the mountain.
Let's just go around them.
Okay.
I mean, are they right in the road?
They are pretty damn center.
I say we just go right through.
Fuck it.
I personally
I
don't
mean-
care. They sound like normal people to me.
I was gonna say, is there any amount of like barbarian diplomacy you can use on this? Because
Absolutely
Yeah.
barbaric.
I just kind of nod and smile a little bit.
It's probably
and be like,
more
is
barbaric.
it like challenging their leader?
Oh, in that case, not really. But no, believe me, it's fine. I've talked to fellow tribes quite a bit.
Well,
They respond well to me.
lead us on, fair leader Ghrimtuk.
Is that what? Okay.
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 Here, you speak for us. If you have reservations, why don't you stealth, Eldwin?
Yeah, maybe
You can back us up.
We'll take your horse. I'll take your horse's bridle, and you could just go through the woods. We don't need to go at an accelerated pace. We're
No,
not in a rush.
I think I would. If you wish to just go through, I will stay with you. I think it would be best to remain in force, but
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
I'll trust you on this
I
one.
will keep my bow nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, definitely. They respect force. You gotta look hard.
Still sounds racist.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I mean, there's a
Alpha
lot of
do-
nomadic
alpha
people who are
dog
just
this
farmers, and like most of us don't swing axes into people's faces. I'm just throwing that out there. This is
It's
probably
true.
a scouting party or a war band. But who knows? If they're all armed, it could be trouble. Normally, if you have an encampment of tribal people, you'll find that there are women and children. And, well, not just women. You know, women can also be warriors.
Did you
too.
see
You
any?
get the point.
Did you see any women, children, or horses, like mounts of any kind?
Nope.
No mounts.
In that
Okay.
case,
Well,
they're
we could
prob-
outrun them,
They're
outride them.
probably a war party or a scouting party of some. If you didn't see anybody gathering food, any children, any elderly, I mean, we don't eat our old or our young.
I would hope not.
So are you saying we should ride around then?
No, I'm saying we should go through. Fuck them.
Well, as I said before, lead on. Fair
You
leader,
are
fair
most-
leader Ghrimtuk.
You are most
So,
confusing, but
how are we doing this? How are you guys going through?
I'll take the lead.
Ghrimtuk's taking the
Yeah.
lead. On horseback or walking?
On horseback.
Eldwin, are you...
doesn't matter to me. I'll be somewhere not in the front.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Metolius will
Somewhere not in the
follow
front.
Ghrimtuk.
Okay.
I'll be
So-
I'll be second. Sure.
And you're
Okay.
just riding casually up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Squat riding on it through
So
until
you
an
hop on
outrider
your-
comes to approach us.
You hop on your mounts, and as you kind of move through this kind of cut between two relatively large forests, you see, as the rise go, you now see closer these kind of ruins around, and you see off to the northern side, you see almost what looks like gravestones or like a grave site, included in more of these kind of broken down cobble and bits of stone that may have been foundation once. You make it to just this kind of center where these dead trees make almost a circle before that odd shaped, once might be religious spot in the center of this kind of set of tents. And then you see two people stand up upon the wall there with an arrow on a bowstring drawn, pointing it towards you.
Stop.
Okay.
Get down off my horse.
I will dismount.
And I'll just wait and stare until somebody approaches. I'm not going to yell or raise my voice. Like, how far off am I from them?
Maybe couple hundred feet at best. Now that you've gotten there, they waited until you got close enough and seemed to like jump out to make their presence known.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Is this wall blocking our path?
No,
Or is okay. It's to the side of the road.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. It's not. They're not blocking us.
They're not blocking you. They're just making sure you know that they have.
Oh, they have bowmen.
Yes.
Posturing.
Okay, in that case, I wouldn't get that. I'm sorry. I thought they were blocking the way.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, no. Just keep on moving.
Here, I'm going to incast. I will be putting up a map for this, and I will send you all right now a picture so you can all see where you are. You are dead center in this almost U-shape camp. You see now, as those two upon the wall in that very dead center portion, where the largest tent sits and that they stand on the wall in front of you.
So we are going kind of right through their camp.
You would be if you continued forward.
And they're up on this little ridge?
They're up on the wall in the very center of the map.
Okay. Well then, I'll just...
And we're walking from right screen to left?
Yes, from southeast corner to middle.
Okay, so we will
Oh,
have to
I
go to
see.
their camp.
Okay.
But they are arrows aimed at you, two bowmen standing there.
That's fine. In that case, once I'm within shouting range, I'll just let out, "Hail!"
You see one of them kind of keep the arrow readied, and you see him put fingers to his mouth and do that long, loud whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And as he does, you see the sound of more footsteps coming your way. But from behind them, you see a person exit the large tent.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the same person you two saw. This one, a little older. This one bearded. And same kind of style, long hair, baubles kind of intact in, that kind of glint in the sun.
Right, recognize any, like, the baubles or insignia with my crazy good vision?
You can try, if you want.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Sure.
Perception?
Metolius just tries to position himself, and everyone's within 10 feet of him.
So it is a 22.
22. It looks like you're similar to what you would find on a kind of head of whatever these war parties are.
Mm-hmm.
More like trophies, maybe. Small bits of jewelry that he had taken off of whatever he killed.
Blinging like me.
Totally.
Nice.
Just
All
in his
right.
hair.
Nice.
And you see him on his back sits a wicked-looking spear.
Cool.
And there seems to be a shield sitting there behind it. And as he kind of saunters underneath his 2 archers standing on the wall, through that little kind of archway, he walks out. And then you see more people coming around, and he goes, we don't get many travelers around here.
We don't often travel through these parts.
I wouldn't recommend it. I hear it's very dangerous. What are you doing here?
Passing through.
Well, I think we'll see about that. Who are you with? Who are you affiliated with? What do you do? Why are you in my campsite?
Your campsite's in the middle of my road.
You own this road. This is yours. This is your road.
At the moment, yes.
I believe I hold a little bit more sway than you and have more men and more weapons, so I would say if you leave all of your worldly possessions here and your mounts and any food, gold, or otherwise in front of my feet, I think I could let you walk back the way you came.
Are we really going to do this? I thought that we would have at least some measure of conversation. You seem like a man of my similar...
I agree. That's why I'm giving you an option. I mean, I have many archers on you right now.
It's funny. I only need 1.
Archer?
He'll do it. Just shoot an arrow past.
Past him?
Past him.
That's
You're going to
a terrible idea.
Go for it, man. If you want.
You have so much range on these fucking guys.
I do have range, and if I fire an arrow towards their leader, they're gonna let loose.
100 feet worth of them running. You could pepper these guys.
How many around? How many are exactly?
Now it looks
Maybe don't
upwards.
Listen to me. Maybe don't listen to me.
It looks upward of close to
No
like
metagaming pigeons
8 or
allowed.
10 people that are coming closer and closer to you.
And how many of them have ranged weapons?
I would like you to roll a perception check on that.
Are we like? Look, do we appear as though we're debating whether we're going to lay down all our stuff?
I think this is. I mean, did you actually say that in game?
What?
Fire.
Well, we're 100 feet off.
Yeah.
So I just turned around to...
Okay.
18
Metolius just turns
perception.
and he's like, I don't know. I think we can take them.
18 perception.
There's 4 of us.
You see
That's
now
only 2 to 1 odds. I like that.
2 more.
I place our bet on us.
2 more people sitting in trees, bows aimed at you all. So there's 4 ranged that are physically aiming at you right now.
Okay,
Does that
I'm
make
gonna
12
look
people,
at.
or that's
I'm gonna look
included in these the 10.
It covered
10-ish people.
8 to 10ish people.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that I guess that covers a few more than what you saw.
Okay.
I'm gonna sort of look at Ghrimtuk and look around and just gonna say, "Do you guys want to do this? If I fire, it might break. All hell might break loose."
Anyone
if we can
looking,
talk our way
because I
out
know
of it now.
Ghrimtuk's back is to this. Anyone looking towards the effective leader, as you can tell, you see that same person you two saw like kind of walk up next to him, and he kind of whispers something in the leader's ear, and the leader kind of speaks back, and he shakes his head, and then he continues holding eyes with a hand up, not down, like just readied, just waiting for your,
What if we just turn around and start walking?
Away?
Yeah,
We have to go this direction.
but we could perhaps take a more circuitous route.
I already don't like these people.
Do we want to give them an option? We could just start attacking, and it seems like that is what the group.
I'm just saying, I think we could take them.
The sands of time are running out for you all. I would say if you would like to make your decision,
I
leaving
would say,
your stuff where you stand, you can walk away with the
Hey.
most important.
Tell the guy who just told you what to do to come out here and talk, because I think you and I are done speaking.
He kind of looks back and he kind of chimes it all. You see him turn just slightly and go, he thinks I'm not the leader. What do we say to that?
at that moment, I am going to knock an arrow, and I'm going to draw a bead on one of these hidden archers up on the side.
And I'll draw my greatsword.
An archer.
And I am going to...
Yeah, I'm going to draw my greatsword.
Okay.
Metolius unhooks his axe.
And I'm going to let an arrow loose on one
Okay,
of these
do
archers.
it.
Can I get a surprise round in too? By chance?
You're 100 feet away. I don't know.
Probably not actually.
I got 600 feet of no disadvantage.
Do you
I
think?
mean, I'd be at disadvantage, but it would just even out because I'd get advantage because it's right.
What's your range?
Oh, because
30,
you're the
120.
because of the assassin thing.
Let me double check.
You're 100 feet from him. You are not 100 feet from the archers in the trees. I'm sorry if I did not make that clear.
Okay, they're closer range.
No, they're farther away.
Oh.
Yeah, I would get advantage because they haven't had a turn in combat yet.
I would say you could make a bead. If you wanted to make a shot, you could make a shot on anyone in front of you. The ones that Elduin's firing at would not be in your range.
I'm going for all their ranged attackers.
Yeah.
So, Elduin.
I mean,
We
That's
can
up to you.
always just hide in the trees and let Elduin pick them off. There's at least decent cover there.
What are you doing?
I'm shooting at one of the
Then do it.
archers. Great.
Shoot at the guy in the open. Just
Yeah, shoot
Oh,
him,
this is
guys.
this is the
Alright.
sharpshooter thing, by the way.
You're calling sharpshooter.
So it'll be
I'm aiming for the big man.
19 to hit.
19?
Mm-hmm.
19 hits.
And
Great.
I think Rain was taking a shot too.
I heard.
I don't think they're surprised since they're about to watch you shoot this arrow, but you definitely will have advantage on the attack.
Yeah,
so.
totally.
So,
So they're not surprised, but I do have advantage.
No,
So
you-
that first arrow hits for a 19.
okay. So you fire your arrow as his
How close
hand
is the
goes
So
down.
I'm at disadvantage for.
And since I can have advantage on dex saves or rage versus surprise, the second he lowers his hand, I'm assuming those arrows are coming at me, and I'm just gonna rage and start heading there.
Okay.
So
As
I know what's coming.
I would say this isn't a surprise round, so these guys are taking 2 shots off. So as your first turn, that could be your bonus action. But
Well, I was meaning I'm gonna try and catch it before they fire their arrows, like to start my rage. Since I can rage to versus being surprised. I
Okay.
would just like to ready my rage, I guess.
sure,
Okay.
let's ready your rage. Fire your arrow, Rain.
Okay.
Can I
Got it.
merely perceive the closest dead tree?
Yes.
How
It's
far from
20 feet away from you.
18.
Okay, thank you.
Merely perceive.
18.
Just saying. I don't ask much. I just want to see where to take cover.
Yep. So
Question. Technically, I get sneak attack on any roll I have advantage on. So,
But this
but the disadvantage, so I don't get my sneak attack.
Correct.
bonus. That's
Yeah.
dumb. All right.
and he's kind of
I
looking
mean,
straight
it's-
at you.
That's fine. I don't
It's
care.
kind of logical. I think that makes sense.
So then that'll just be. Let's not count that.
Yep.
1 sec.
That way.
Nice. Max damage, but only 1d6, so it'll be 10.
10.
Did you roll
10
the
damage.
hit?
I grabbed it.
Yeah.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got an 18.
That's it.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks.
Sweet. So yeah, your arrow flies and catches one, and you see him fall as his hand goes down. Rain's bolt flies, and you see it skim off his cheek. A gout of blood spurts out as he takes the 10 damage, and then his hand falls, and 3 arrows fly. Your
Cool guys get
Cheer.
scars.
Yeah.
first arrow goes towards Elduin.
Oh wow.
That would be dupe. That would be 18 to hit.
So that would normally hit, but I'm going to use my reaction to cast shield.
Yeah.
Not exactly being surprised at an incoming volley of arrows. So it gives me +5 AC until my next turn.
Okay, so that misses you. Second one goes to Ghrimtuk. Natural 1.
Yeah.
First one of the game. High. Cool. It just misses you. And then third one goes to Rain. That would be a 20 to hit. No,
Yes.
not nat.
That is.
Okay.
You hit your target.
2 points
Kill
of
my
damage
target.
as it cuts into your shoulder,
Oh, okay.
but does
Great.
very little.
So I was super wrong about these
At
guys.
that point,
I have a second attack.
Oh, we all
by
knew
the
it.
way. Well, I mean, in a normal round, I would have 2 attacks.
cool. This is a
Surprise
single
round.
Cool.
melee,
Just checking. Yeah.
so, or a single shot. So at that point, everyone roll initiative.
Okay.
Great.
All right,
I
Ghrimtuk
think I have
17.
advantage.
Elduin 17.
Tolia's got a 19.
Killing it on the initiative.
22 for Rain.
She's
Since when did we all get decent?
Matoli's got a 19.
One for last
Correct.
scout. Oh,
Oh.
Come on.
bad form.
Alright.
That's
And Rain,
Twist
you
the
got a what?
dagger, my bro.
What'd you get?
22.
Okay. So at this moment, as this ruckus goes on, and you hear him call out, say, "Boys, we have playthings." And you hear the stamping of feet as more rush forward towards you all.
Tight.
That comes up to Rain, top of the round.
All right. That's probably a bad idea. Well, anyway, if I use my bonus action to dash, can I get within 30 feet with 60 feet of movement?
Yes. Wait, you get within 40 feet.
Okay.
Because they're 100 feet away. The leader's 100 feet away from
I
Right.
should have known I was
Okay,
mad when the map said bandit camp.
you. That's meta-ing, thank you.
So weirdly enough, Elijah, did not notice.
Good. That's good.
I'm not even kidding.
The brain sees what it
Full
wants.
disclosure, I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, the map straight up says it.
That's really funny.
So all listening
You guys
at home.
are adorable.
That's great. It's great. What are you doing? Are you rushing forward still?
No, probably not. How close am I to any kind of walls I can start climbing up to get some height?
Let's look at the map. If you're 100 feet away from this to the southern portion, there's the bit of ruins. You could probably rush towards that, which is actually, I would say, the same direction as Eldwin took at that first archer. So though he has 2 archers in the center and 1 on the northern side, you wouldn't be under direct fire if you ran towards that, and you would make it within 60 feet.
Okay. I'll do that.
I wish it wasn't on my computer so I could show you the map.
No, that's fine. I'll do that. And so, I'm running, and there are archers on top of this wall?
No, the archers are in front of you on
Okay.
a very center kind of ruins. And then there are 2 archers there and 1 archer to the northern side in kind of the swampy area.
And so how far away is this wall from the leader?
For give or take 40 feet.
Okay. All right, I'll do that.
Sweet. So yeah, you rush towards these kind of ruined walls and and you climb up when
Yeah.
you get there. So you take 60 feet of movement, get up to there, climb for the rest of your movement,
Yeah.
30 feet on top, which definitely doesn't take 30 feet. You are now on top, about 40 feet away from the leader,
Okay.
standing probably about 15 feet in the air.
It sucks that I'm still at a disadvantage, but I'll shoot again.
Okay.
But he still is not taking a turn, right? So
He is still not taking a
cancel
turn.
out that disadvantage, which will get me a 24.
24 hits.
All right, and I don't get my sneak attack. 7 damage.
7 damage?
Yep.
Word. You catch him in the thigh, and you see it stick in, but he just reaches down and just rips it out, throws it to the ground.
Ooh, we got a badass.
How much damage again? Sorry.
7.
7 damage.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bringing it to the next turn, which is you see the man behind him that was speaking into his ear disappear from sight.
Alright.
Okay.
Gotta be like that.
It's that kind of day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, that brings it to Metolius' turn.
So you're referring... Rain is in the ruin that is directly south of the middle ruin,
Yes.
correct? I would
Standing atop the wall.
Yeah, but she dashed there.
She dashed there for 60 feet from where you're standing.
Gotcha. I would like to run to the dead tree that's
Near it.
near it.
Before it, not after, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
How
so
much
you're
of my movement will that take?
I would say that would take probably about 25, almost 30 feet if you're... It would take most of your movement.
That's fine. I
Okay.
will end up there, and I will attack anything that manages to make it to my
Just,
melee range.
are you saying you ready an attack?
I'm ready an attack action for the first hostile entity,
Excellent. Sounds like a plan to me.
and I'm trying to take cover behind the
Okay, I would say...
tree.
Ooh, you get to finally use it. Let me find it really quick. Yeah. You get 3/4 cover.
Yeah.
Here's a card.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, actually, those are super handy.
All right.
We're using the, the combat cards.
Nice.
From Crit Games. Hell
Okay.
yeah.
I
And
like
yeah,
it.
these are super fucking handy, because now I'm going to have that. So you now, sir, have a +5 AC bonus to dexterity and dexterity saving throws.
Sweet.
Boom. That brings it to Ghrimtuk.
As a paladin, that makes my dex saves
I was trying to defend these guys because I was hoping that maybe all of the stereotypes weren't true with them.
It's wrong.
But they're making us look bad.
I mean-
So, with my rage, I'm going to move my full movement
Okay.
towards the nearest enemy I can fucking see.
Okay. So you're going to dash, correct?
Well, I don't want to use a dash if I don't have to. I have
So you're just going to
40
move towards the people that are kind of surrounding, or like they're on either side of the ruins, so you won't make it to them in this first turn.
Can I make it on horseback? Because I'm on a horse.
Didn't you?
You said you dismount.
Dismount.
Well, I was going to dismount when I thought they were in our way, but then you said they weren't. So
I thought you dismounted
I thought everyone
in
did-
response to that.
Oh, did
I'll
we?
allow-
Okay. No, that's
I'll
fine.
allow you to just make an acrobatics check to remount really quick if you want.
Would my horse's full movement of 60 be able to get me to a person?
It's still going to be no, because you're 100 feet off.
Oh, well then fuck that. I don't want the horse to die, so I'll just leave it.
Metolius calls over. Ghrimtuk, follow me. Stay together.
I mean, yeah, I'll start moving towards them, but I'll move into the trees.
Okay.
Like, I'll run into the trees, but trying to do it at an angle to which I can still make some forward progress.
So you're now basically standing behind Metolius, behind Rain's ruins, heading towards the trees on the southern portion.
Am I able to make it to the trees?
No, not all the way.
Like, even if I dash? Because if I
You
dash,
can make
it's
it.
80.
You can make it if you dash.
Well, if I... Hold on a second. I want to look up... Well, because I have some javelins, too. So, I want to be able to keep my rage going.
If you ran forward, what's your range on your javelins?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
I think it's 6120, but I can't be for this.
If that's true, you could absolutely make
That's
it. If you run forward,
Yeah.
you could definitely hit the archers on the wall that shot at you.
I'm a veritable well of knowledge.
I know, right? Range 30, 120. You know what? I'll just take
Praise me, Ricky.
I will take the opportunity to go the same direction Metolius is.
Okay,
but
so
I can make it past him.
You definitely made it past him. You're just using 40
Well, no, I have to use 80. You said, or at least
to get to the trees. If you wanted to run in between Rain and Metolius and then throw a javelin, still you could probably. If it's 120,
Yeah, it is one.
it would be a disadvantage.
Yep.
But you could
Yep,
definitely
it's
throw it.
120.
Sure.
Okay.
You could definitely throw a javelin at one of the people on the wall.
And is that strength or dex for that one?
Strength for javelins.
Oh, nice.
So at disadvantage, please.
That is my ballyhoo.
You're my ballyhoo.
17.
17? 17 hits.
Nice.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
And then... Wait. Is that an 8 or a 9? Fuck, because I have a plus 8 mod on that one.
The dot is at the bottom of the
No, I moved the dice.
Oh.
It might have been a 16 or a 17.
Excuse me.
5, 9, 10, 11.
You thrust your javelin into the air, throwing it as hard as you can at this archer, and he turns, readying another arrow, and finds that he is now a skewered bandit kebab.
Nice.
As he falls limp onto the ground off the wall. You hear a solid thud.
Chump.
I'm marking them.
Yep, that's all I got.
At that moment, you hear a guttural scream as 4 of those shirtless, heavily muscled, and great axe wielding men start to rush.
My kid!
Yeah.
Rush
4
forward to
muscle
you all.
wizards appear.
They are unable to make it to you, but they do use their action to dash.
I'm about to cast the hurt on him.
Yeah.
They do use their action to dash to make it close enough to, by the next round, they can actually make it on you.
They're going down.
That finishes up to... So, archer number 1 that's still left on the wall fires at Rain, actually. 17 plus...
Yes.
Enough.
Yes.
So that's another 20, which is this, and a thing. Oop, that's fine. 3, 4 points of damage to you.
Okay. I'll take it.
Okay. On the other hand,
Is Rain getting pissed?
Plink.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Metolius, I'm going to fire the man in the far off tree is going to fire at disadvantage with your plus. So this is going to suck for him.
Yeah.
Nope. Let's see. Neither of them would have hit you anyways. So you see a bolt fly past you, Just sticks in the tree
Nice.
high above your head. Would never have hit you anyways.
I gotta try. I gotta put up a good show.
Yeah.
Uh,
If the round gets to the bottom and I have not taken my attacks, I will hurl some javelins of my own.
okay, cool.
Were you
Then-
holding a javelin action?
No, I was holding an attack action.
Oh, okay.
2 more of these similarly clothed but weaker of the group individuals rush out like crossbows in hands and fire at you. First at you, Elduin, then at you, Rain. So, nope, didn't see that one. 15. Elduin plus 3, that's 18.
Nope, because shield.
Boom.
My spectral aura, my bubble.
7.
You
for
can't
Rain.
get into my bubble.
And then followed to our fair leader.
Ghrimtuk?
Right, the diplomat.
I believe I mentioned him being our fair leader twice in short succession.
I mean, if you've seen my brand of diplomacy, just know you're in for a good time.
Hey, man.
You see
Let
him
me tell you
remove
about
the
werewolf
shield
diplomacy.
and spear from his back, readying them for an attack, and starts to push forward towards you.
Does he dash?
He does not.
Okay.
That would be bottom of the round, so if you wanted to make your
I will.
Javelin.
Yeah, attack. Are the shirtless dudes in? How far away are they?
from you,
Yeah.
because they dashed, I would say they were within the 120.
Well, they were ready, right?
Was that?
We started like 100 yards away.
You started 100 yards and they just entered the
Or
fray.
100 feet away.
Yeah, but they entered the fray just now, dashed up to so that they could get to you next time.
Got it. Okay.
So they are in range, but at disadvantage.
Okay.
They're also giant meat sacks, so it wouldn't be
They
that
started
hard.
from further back, I think. We didn't see them, so they had to dash to
Oh, okay.
Chop.
like the starting line.
Well, right, because I moved 30 feet toward them
Shuffle.
too. But
Yeah.
you're right. All right. Disadvantage.
Yes. But don't worry. Again, they're big meat sacks. They're not hard to hit.
Non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20? Definitely hits.
1d6, right? 1d6 plus. So that'd be 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage?
So
Excellent.
one
So
of them.
catches him right in the side as you see a giant cut open up, but it seems to not slow his forward
pace.
momentum.
All right, I'll do it again. Oh, I'm gonna miss this
Oh, do
time.
we get multiple attacks with javelins?
Well, I hold the whole action. You can throw multiple javelins.
I didn't know that. I don't know why I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I missed terribly. I rolled a 3 and a 4. So
Does not hit.
yes.
Your second javelin goes wide.
All right.
Going to the top of the round, which is Rain.
Ah, cool. Now,
Wait, top of them?
Did Elduin? Yeah. Did I not?
I didn't take my full turn.
Oh, I apologize. What did you...
Oh, yeah, you did a reaction.
I did a reaction when
And you
somebody
had a
shot at
surprise
me.
round. That's right.
True.
I
had a
apologize.
surprise round. I had a 17 initiative.
No, I know.
We have the same initiative.
I accidentally think I skipped over you. It was Metolius, then you, Elduin. I
Ah.
apologize. So, retroactively, I'll have you be after Metolius, but if you would like to do something now.
Oh wait, I'm just
It'll
gonna
be
take my
it'll
turn.
be what you rolled next turn. He's just saying take your turn now.
Okay, yeah,
I
sure.
think.
I'm going to shoot arrows.
Excellent. Would you like to shoot at
Big
the...
surprise!
Would you like to shoot at the weaker looking, the actual leader looking, or the big beefy guys?
Are there archers left?
Yes. There
I
are.
would
There's
like-
one on the wall. There's still one out in the trees at the far north side now.
I'm gonna aim at the archer in the trees,
Okay.
and I'm gonna again sharpshooter this.
Okay.
13.
13. 13 hits.
13 hits. Hell yeah.
They're wearing basically sarongs. That's what they're wearing for armor.
That is 18 points of piercing damage.
18 points.
Yeah.
It's a nail driver.
Yeah.
That's your game up.
Just drops him once again.
With my second attack, I'm going to aim at the archer that is on the wall.
Excellent.
Closer. Again, sharpshootering. Ooh, that's probably not going to hit.
It's weird, right?
That's a 7 to hit.
7 does not hit.
So I'm going to magically enhance this arrow to curve around and shoot at one of the muscle wizards.
Muscle wizards.
So I'll roll a normal attack for that one.
Yep.
Ooh, that's 12 to hit.
12 does not hit them.
Okay. I'm going to use my action surge, get in the zone, flow state, fire another arrow at the the guy on the wall.
Okay. Get in that flow state.
I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna again sharpshooter this, and that is going to be a 15.
That hits.
Great. 17 points of piercing damage.
Drops him.
Great. And then for my last
Told you
attack,
guys.
I'm going to attack the
We only need one.
leader. 9.
9. 9 does not hit.
9.
And I've already curved one shot, so I am.
Well, you
done-
can't do it per
done.
attack. It's just per.
It uses my bonus action to do it. And I
Okay.
only
The
have
action surge doesn't give you another bonus action.
Does
just
not.
another attack.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just another action, yeah.
Could be too good.
Okay,
Right.
Rain, it is your turn.
And I'm going to maneuver myself so that I am maintaining a good distance away from the muscle lizards.
Okay.
Just get behind me.
So how far away are the muscly guys from the tree?
From the tree, they're about
In footage.
in footage. They're, I would say, about 40 feet from you.
Okay. Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who is the closest enemy to me right now?
Probably the leader.
And how far away is he? Because you said he moved up a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how far?
If he moved, well, I guess no, it would probably be the muscle wizards because he moved 30 feet from his position.
Stuck.
I love it.
So he'd be about, give or take, like 70 feet from you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I dabble in muscle wizardry myself.
So how close
You are
is
a
the closest
formidable muscle
wizard?
wizard.
40 feet.
Okay. So still disadvantage with
You
my-
vanquished the frog hemoth as a muscle wizard.
Actually, Rain.
Well,
Rain
you
vanquished it.
pretty much did
Yeah.
all of the other damage.
I did. I put some work in on it.
Yeah, just a little.
So it would just be straight disadvantage for that.
Gains on that frog hemoth.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so I'm on top of the wall right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I kind of walked down the side of the wall a little bit, so I'm just standing on the wall with my spider slippers,
Yes.
could I be within 30 feet of one of the muscle wizards, but still be at a high enough on the wall that he couldn't really reach me in melee?
No, because the wall's only 15 feet high.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I thought it was taller than that. Alright, never mind. I will just take a shot at disadvantage, because why not?
Okay.
Come play with us, Rain.
Wait, where did you guys head compared to where I'm at? How far away are you guys from me now?
There's a tree that is basically next to the ruins you're in.
Okay, so you guys are close.
We are close. We're within 30 feet of you.
Okay, gotcha.
You ran 60. We ran 30, I believe.
Okay, then
Well, Ghrimtuk ran 40 because he's.
that's
farther.
fine. I don't want to give up my height advantage right now, so I'm just gonna take a shot at disadvantage, which is still good, which is a 19.
19 hits.
Rad.
Did you say you're raining down crossbow bolts?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And 8 damage.
8 damage.
8 damage.
Okay. And you did it on...
Muscle lizard, whatever
Excellent.
the closest.
The closest muscle.
closest.
We're going to go with the one that Metolius hit. So, 8 damage. Okay. At that moment, below you, Rain, that finely dressed man appears out of thin air,
Excellent.
looks up at you, and blows sand into your face,
Okay.
and casts sleep at a 3rd level.
Do I have to roll?
Or
one?
2nd level, sorry.
Nope.
No, he does, though.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.
He fucking rolls a mountain of d8s and hopes that it's higher than your hit points.
Gotcha.
What is your hit points right now, Rain?
45.
Okay. I mean,
She falls
a-
asleep. Is she stuck to the wall but falling over?
We found the bard.
Well, I think I'm on top of the wall currently.
you walked down it.
Lord
No,
Bard
she said she
Bennington.
didn't do
I,
that.
Okay.
When I realized it was only a 15-foot wall, I did not.
Okay.
I was thinking it was more like 20, 25. So.
Does that mean that this bard is in 30 feet?
Yeah, he is within 30 feet of you. He's about, I would say, 60 feet from Rain.
Got it.
He isn't right. I thought you were hanging over. He's not right under you. So.
I'll put the bards in striking distance.
He appeared below her, but not directly below her?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like kind of
okay.
in.
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
But if he's still in, but if he's still in striking distance.
He said 45.
Mm-hmm.
He did not hit 45.
Yeah. Joke's on you, Bard boy.
Yeah, doesn't seem to cast any, doesn't seem to work, and he seems a little bit concerned by that. And as he finishes this thing, he seems to take a 10-foot step back towards the leader. So
Okay.
One 10-foot
Wait, let
step.
me look up one thing really quick.
the rest of his movement effectively. Nope, out of there.
So now he's 40 feet away.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I can't do what I was thinking about doing.
Okay. That brings it to Matolius' turn.
I'm just gonna stick by Ghrimtuk.
I'm gonna wreck those guys.
Yeah. So Ghrimtuk goes next, right?
Elduin probably has me beat. He has higher dex, so I think that he beats me in the tie. Is that how it works?
Yes.
Yeah, so he would go next, and then I
Okay.
go.
All
So
right.
Elduin.
Well, so Ghrimtuk goes before the muscle dudes.
Yes.
Okay.
All three of you go before the muscle dudes.
Okay. I just run toward the muscle dudes.
Okay.
And ready in action.
I love that's what we're calling him.
Just ready in action for when they get up to you?
I'm an attack. Ready in attack action.
Okay. So you ready yourself?
I just say to Ghrimtuk, I say,
Shield
back
forward.
me up.
Shield forward, sword out, readying to hit them when they approach you.
That's not. I didn't mean
that
it
brings
in a
it
hang
to
ten sort of way.
Elduin's turn.
Okay, how many foes can I see right now?
Can you see right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. There's 4 muscle wizards. There's 2 of the regular guys on the ground. There's the leader, the bard. So you can see all of those.
Great. Okay, I am going to fire an arrow at the bard.
Okay.
And I will do the... Ooh, do I actually want to... Yeah, so I'm going to not do a sharpshooter. I want to hit this guy.
Okay.
Does 27 hit?
Yes. Why, yes, it does.
Never didn't have it.
I'm going to trigger an arcane shadow arrow on him. So he has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
The DC is 14.
I didn't make it.
So he is blinded for anything past 5 feet from him until my next turn. And he also takes 9 points of piercing damage and 8 points of psychic damage.
Ooh.
Ow. 9 points of piercing, 8 points of psychic?
Yes.
Jesus.
He also, for some reason, thought of something, a really insecure moment in his childhood. Because psychic damage.
And then
Or it
with-
burns your neurons out, one or the other.
I always like to think it's just insecurity. Just
I-
compounded insecurity.
I just
I
give
always
him
imagine it as
insta migraine.
And
something
then
like that,
blinded.
yeah.
Let's see them.
So he can only see
Condition
something.
cards.
Basically,
don't imagine
he
mind
can
flayers
still see
like
something if it is within 5 feet of him.
Okay. But you see just this, like, kind of black smoke kind of swirl around his eyes.
And
What
then
does that mean for us that he's blinded?
You have
Like,
advantage
That
on
we
it,
have
means-
advantage on him?
Attack rolls against blinded
Excellent.
creatures have advantage.
and he has disadvantage on his.
you're welcome, Rain.
Thank you.
I'm going to use my second shot, and I'm going to aim it at the leader.
Okay.
And this one, I will do the sharpshooter. That'll be an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Sweet.
Drive them nails.
Was that the bard guy?
No, this is the leader. 16 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
I see. I believed in you.
That's
I just needed
You catch
to
him right
believe
in the
you.
side, past his shield, and you see him kind of buckle, but still stand tall, as he calls out in response. Though it's not his turn, so you don't actually hear what he says. Not yet.
There's always time for banter.
That is my turn.
Okay. Ghrimtuk, your turn.
These guys were warned, so actually I'm gonna yell out. I'll head to the buff dudes. Be like, I told you it was my road. Just go out and just start swinging. Let's do what I do with my reckless attack, great weapon master.
Okay.
Roll big. Dual 11s, but actually I'm going with my new great sword, so that makes that a not natural 20.
That hits.
Alright, let's see. Let's break this bad boy in.
Get it real bloody.
Oh, that could have been better. Snake Eyes on the damage, plus 5 and plus 2, because that was the lowest damage possible. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the first hit.
Okay.
Not my strongest showing. Let's do that again. Oh yeah, that hits for sure. That is 16 plus 9, so that's a 25. And 5, 6, 7. Oh wait, that last hit had one more to it because I was adding plus 5 instead of plus 6. Sorry, my bad.
So altogether?
Yeah.
Altogether, what'd you get?
Well, the last damage I was 9, so give it a 10.
Okay.
And then this would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15
Okay.
damage to the same person.
Boom. Yeah, you just come out swinging with your just great sword in hand, and you take 2 massive chunks out of this guy. He's still standing, but this man does not look very elated in his current situation. Anything else?
They've made bad choices with their life.
Obviously.
I will put on my helmet.
As a bonus action,
If I can.
you can doff that helmet.
Nice.
I will allow you to doff that helmet, but that is your bonus action.
Yeah, I'm 100% doing that.
Okay.
Gotta
Excellent.
protect your head.
Your
scary
helmet
I know.
sits upon your head, and your eyes begin to glow in a bright, evil red. The first berserker, the one who has been already hit multiple times, rushes forward and goes towards you, Metolius.
Okay.
So make your attack action.
Attack action. Ooh, spicy. Does a 28
Yes.
hit? Alrighty. 1d8 of slashing damage plus fancy axe damage. Ooh, nice. So that is 20 points of damage altogether.
Including,
Well, there is 4 points of lightning damage tossed
as
in there.
the axe connects, a gout of lightning, just a crackle, goes across this creature's body. You see his muscles tense for a second as the lightning damage hits. And then,
Still up.
how much? 22?
20 total damage.
20 total? Yes, he is.
I will make my second attack then.
Okay.
Strike him again.
Does a 17
Yes.
hit. Or actually an 18 hit. So
Even better.
Yes, I know. You know, I will just try to put this guy in the dirt and pop a smite on his butt.
Okay.
Seems excessive, but I like it.
Just want to make sure he goes down. So
Smote his road upon the mountain.
yes.
You only did 20 damage last time. I can see why you'd be concerned. You just want to make a good show, so the rest just see what they're in for.
I do want to make a good show. So that's 16 points of magical slashing damage plus 11 points of radiant damage. So
With a burst
37.
of bright white light, you catch this hulking mass right in the center of his chest, digging your axe deep within it. You wrench it out, and the creature falls limp in front of you.
Metolius calls out to Eldon and he goes, "See, I told you we could take these guys."
Next on that train meets
That
up
meat train.
meets up to Ghrimtuk, attacking you.
I hope so.
I need to feel alive.
It's the only way I can feel.
Feel the feelings that we feel inside.
Okay. So he rolled a 24 to hit you, Ghrimtuk.
That definitely hits.
That is 13 points of slashing damage.
Nice. Nice. So we're dropping that. I forget if we round up or down.
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 6.
The next one, close behind him, runs up to you once again, Ghrimtuk. These two both very much swing wildly and you would say recklessly.
Oh, nice.
As the second one swings recklessly at you.
They're mad boys.
They are mad boys. Mad boys. That would be a 22 to hit you.
That hits.
Okay, second one swings in for only 5 points of damage as he kind of nicks your shoulder. Metolius,
You'll get him next time, buddy.
the third and final, now still standing, rushes up to meet you. And he raises his great axe high, allowing his torso at full access, but coming down upon you with his attack.
Recklessly, I would assume.
I would assume. Oh, neither of those probably hit you. That would be a 9 or an 8, so no.
No.
Recklessly, he swung wide and hit the ground very hard.
Nice.
That brings it to you all hear over the din of this battle. You hear the sounds of commotion in one of the tents as though someone kind of muffled, I wouldn't say scream out, but call out. Almost.
Like a yelp of surprise?
More like kind of a holler or a yell, not like out of pain, but out of
like a rebel
I'm
yell.
here.
Like an attention-getting yell?
Exactly. More like a I'm here.
Good job, buddy.
From what seems to be, from as best you can tell, from the very center tent.
It's not a word.
No.
Okay.
It seems very muffled even at that distance.
Okay.
That brings it to the two on the ground still that are just normal guys. They're going to load another two normal guys.
Just two regular guys. I'm Steve. This is Bob. We're from the staffing agency.
But they are going to lower
Regular
their
guys.
attacks towards Rain and towards Elduin.
I mean, like, we never really been bandits before.
Rain, that would be
Wild
17
and
to
crazy
hit you.
guys are
Yes,
higher
that
CR.
Okay. That is 2 points of damage as a crossbow bolt catches you in the side but does very little to you.
Okay.
Elduin, another crossbow as he rushes
Kissing her
forward,
off.
is lowered toward you and fires. God damn it, natural one. We're going high,
These
guys.
guys are the temp to hire bandits.
That is not high.
My god, man, are you hourly?
The string on his crossbow snaps and you hear him scream as a wide gash across his face
Ooh.
grows. He takes 2 points of damage.
You hate to see that.
I mean, it's sad, really.
That's what happens when you roll in that one.
Some people just lack the proper training.
I think that maybe if these guys had some time, they'd have got better.
Rushing forward.
The abridged book of banditry.
Rushing forward. Metolius, you being the closest to him,
Banditry for dummies.
the leader
Big book of banditry.
comes up next to you.
Well, this isn't good.
He lowers his gnarled spear at you and, in one hand, specifically, thrusts towards you.
Bring it, story man.
I am. The first one is 17 to hit.
Misses.
Second one is nat 20. That's 27 to hit.
Well, yeah. That'll do.
It's bullshit. I called him out and he runs at you.
Oh, he's the closest one.
This is gonna hurt.
Yes, sir, it is.
I thought I was closer than Metolius.
No, Metolius is to your, effectively, your right.
Okay.
You ran forward. So 6, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 23 points of damage as he catches you in the side with that second stab.
23, you said?
Yep. And he makes his final stab.
Because, you know.
That would be a 19, so a 26 to hit.
Sure, why
Why
not?
not? That is 9. That is 13 points of damage. Piercing.
Okay.
That is the end of his turn, top of the round.
Well, Metolius and
Your turn.
below half health.
Alright, so I see this guy's blinded.
Fuck him
Is
up.
there anybody else around him currently? Like, if I actually
No,
approached
he's-
him, would I be in melee with any other?
No.
He
Excellent.
would see you if you were in melee.
Well, that's fine. I'm gonna walk till about 10 feet away from him.
Okay.
And just, like, point my crossbow bolt, like, right at his head.
Jesus.
Yes!
And
Okay.
just shoot.
Yes!
Good. Get it.
That's the Quentin Tarantino
Holy
finish.
fuck.
The slow-mo walk up.
Damn.
Oh, I am pleased.
Damn, that's not good.
Well, wait, what's your range again?
30, 120.
Okay.
It's not terrible. It might still hit. 16?
16 hits.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Alright, so then...
Grab your fistful of
Yeah.
sixes.
You did do that with advantage, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
She rolled like a 3 and a 6, though.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So we got 6, 7, 8, 14, 21.
21?
21 damage.
You see it catch him just right in the side of the mouth, and it just pierces out, just pulling his cheek fully open. His tongue kind of lolls out, and he stammers back. But he's still standing, but barely,
Okay.
as his tongue hangs out the wound.
Rad.
Gonna be hard to cast bard spells
I would
with
say.
an arrow in
That's
your
a lot
mouth.
of fucking
You
damage.
better put that flute up to your cheek. You know?
Yeah.
So he... Gross. Feeling that, and just in a
No,
wild...
he's feeling it.
in just like a wild rage to try to attack whatever hit him, he rushes forward. I'm going to give him disadvantage on hitting you.
Okay.
With his short sword drawn. 12 plus 4, that's 16.
16 just hits.
Boom. He throws a 5 points of damage towards you as he cuts into you. Like,
Alright, I'll uncanny dodge that.
okay. Just kind of sidestep, he just kind of nicks you.
Yeah, exactly. For 5 you said, so that is, it's rounded down, so 2, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, you just kind of sidestep as he like lumbers forward trying to hit you after losing that much everything. Metolius, you have the leader next to you, as well as some muscle wizards to your front.
Well, that did not feel great. There's 3 guys around me.
Yes, there are still 3 big bruisers in front of you, and then there's the big bruiser to your right.
But there's 3 around? I thought you killed one.
He did. There's 4 of them. Not around him specifically, in this
okay.
combat. Sorry.
Oh, okay. They're not.
There's only one in front of you.
Yeah, you only have the boss
So
guy.
1 barbarian and boss man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's one that rushed up after you killed the guy and
That's
swung at
right.
him.
Kick his ass, Seabass.
Also, remember, you get advantage.
But not on boss man.
Not on Bossman.
Does this barbarian look hurt? Has he been injured?
He has not.
Hmm.
He will be once the Elderwind smashes on him.
I'll attack the. Well, first I'll attack the barbarian guy.
Okay.
This is the leader guy or the?
No, the actual barbarian. With advantage.
Yeah. It says 23.
Hits. Definitely hits.
And this time I will be casting Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
So I will do an extra 2d6 of thunder damage. And he needs to make a strength save against my DC of 15 or be pushed back 10 feet. And a loud boom echoes out within 300 feet.
He misses.
Oh, brutal.
Ugh, not great.
Nope, not great at all. 5 plus 8, 13 points of damage total.
But he is thrown back 10 feet.
Correct.
As a loud crackoom echoes throughout this small
Neat. Lightning
area.
and thunder. You're the storm god.
Hail Thor.
Oh, I forgot to add my
Yeah.
storm damage. I
Yeah,
forgot to add my
lightning.
electric damage.
Yeah, dog.
Add 2 more.
Got it. 2 more.
And then
Cocoon.
I will swing on Leader Dude.
Leader dude.
+16 plus 8.
16 plus 8, so that's 19.
Yep. I will blow a I'll pump a level 1 smite into him.
You definitely hit him.
$19 total points of damage.
Boom. And you just wheel around with your axe and catch him right between the shield and spear arm and right in the armor, dealing a good decent amount of damage.
I call out, Ghrimtuk, back me up!
Elduin, it's your turn.
So
You see Metolius harried by 2 foes. Ghrimtuk basically the same. 2 more bandits on the ground, and the bard almost lazily in his lack of life trying to swing at Rain.
Is the one that got knocked back, is he prone or is he just knocked back?
Is he prone?
Oh, he is also knocked prone.
Okay.
Forgot about
Let's
that
grab
part.
that prone card.
Yeah.
all right, I am going to fire a sharply shot arrow at the leader.
Okay.
So that will be a 15 to hit.
15 does not hit.
Okay, I will use my
It
bonus.
wings off the shield.
I'll use my bonus action to redirect that towards one of the fellas near Ghrimtuk.
Okay.
That's
Oh.
very cocked. 22.
22 hits.
That will be 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then second arrow at the main guy.
Okay.
That is a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to have this guy make a charisma saving throw as I cast Banishing Arrow on him.
Send him to the Feywild!
Is who are you shooting?
This is the leader.
Okay.
What's your... He does not make
14.
it. Nope.
Alright, first off, he takes 9 points of piercing damage. And he's blinked out until, I believe, the end of his next turn.
Excellent. He disappears.
Suddenly, Metolius is by himself again.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
breathes an audible sigh of relief.
Okay.
Yeah.
That brings it to Grimtuk's turn.
Thanks, man.
Alright. If these guys clearly have overextended themselves with these attacks, then I don't need to be reckless with mine.
It's true.
We'll just attack them normally. So first I'll hit the guy who I already hit.
Patient Ghrimtuk.
Not really my strong suit, I know. Not natural 20.
Okay, that hits.
Just have to be more patient than other barbarians.
Shit, I'm just not rolling right. 10, 11, 12 on the first one.
Okay.
Is he dead or no?
He is not.
God, just hurry up and die, jerk face. Again.
Like you, they're a big meaty sack of
Yeah.
hit points. So
Okay,
it's like
16.
16 hits.
Yeah. Alright, you guys are dice jailed. We're going with different ones.
Always a good plan.
7, 6, so 13, 14, 15.
Okay. He is still up, but looking much more a worse for wear.
Cool. And I got nothing. I got no bonus action.
He retorts. Once
Oh.
again, just frothing at the mouth, recklessly swings at you. That would be 23 to hit.
Yep.
That is 8 points of damage.
Alrighty.
Next comes the guy who is prone in front of 10 feet away from Metolius, who does stand using half of his movement and still rushes towards the person who felled him. Recklessly.
Yup.
That's cocked. I rolled 2 twice. He misses you entirely,
Nice.
skimming his great axe off your shield.
Good. That's good.
On the other hand, the final of the 4 who has not been touched rushes around his friend and around you, Ghrimtuk, to flank you
Oh.
at your back.
Was this guy I was already engaged with?
The guy in front of you, you're already engaged with. There was a 4th one that was coming around, and he's kind of
I didn't know that.
yeah. There's
Okay.
4. There was 4 of them altogether. This one is now flanking you with his compadre.
One's dead, one's
Yeah.
on me, and 2 are on you.
Okay. Yeah. No, I knew that.
17.
17 does not hit.
Boom. Then he misses on his advantage.
Thanks, new AC.
Yeah, that ends. You once again all hear that kind of same muffled call from inside that middle tent.
I'm working on it.
And the crossbowmen lower their crossbows towards Metolius and Ghrimtuk. Actually, the first one lowers his crossbow, and the one actually takes his second action to fix his string. I apologize. 15, 18, Metolius.
That just hits, but I'm going to use luck.
Cool.
And he rolls not good. What's his plus to hit me?
3.
It's not. It is an 8.
Okay. Misses you. Both, and the second one does his action towards...
You're so lucky.
Yeah, I wish I remember that when I got critted by that guy, but I'm a dum-dum.
And of course, the leader once again finds these
You're
odd,
lucky, not smart.
beautiful creatures coming out of the woodwork. And as they're about to embrace him and give him many kisses, he pops back into existence at the end of the turn, top of the round.
Yeah.
Rain,
Welcome back.
the well-injured man is now just like fumbling next to you.
Oh, wait, the leader popped back?
Yeah, at the end of his turn.
At the end of the leader's turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. God damn it.
Why?
I thought I was going to have a chance to go before you came back, but that's fine.
I'm not within 30 feet of them. Am I the leader? And
No, you're fighting the bard guy.
Yeah, you're on the ground, but you're...
they're like 70 feet away from me, right?
I mean, they're closer than that. They're probably like 40 feet away from you right now.
Okay.
You're all... Everyone's kind of clustered right now near that like ruins that you stood upon.
Right.
Ghrimtuk and Metolius are ahead of that. And then Eldoin's kind of hanging back and shooting out.
Yeah, you're engaged with Blindo McGee.
Engaged is a... I mean, that is
Yeah, right. As engaged as you can be with a guy with
generous.
cataracts.
So am I
Well, he's
in
not
melee
blind
with him
anymore.
now that
Not
he
anymore.
like tried to attack me?
a... Was that?
I'm in melee with him now that
Yep.
he tried to attack me. Okay, so then I guess I would use my bonus action and disengage then and step back
Okay.
and one more bolt to the face.
Okay, do it.
Oh, that's so cool. Right to his face.
But he's not blind anymore.
Oh, he's not blind anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the end of his turn, he regained his sight.
I see. Okay.
So you don't have advantage. So
Okay,
you
never
might as
mind.
well
Then
just
I won't.
give him the shiv.
Right. Okay, so in that case,
Give him his bardly desserts.
Can I make an offhand attack before making?
No, you have to take the
No.
attack action and then get
And
Yeah,
then I get an
anybody-
offhand attack. Dang it. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That won't work then. Alright, never mind. I'm just gonna attack him like normal
'Kay.
with my rapier.
Okay, as you step in to attack him, you see him put his hand against his cheek to kind of block the open wound, and you hear out of his like broken mouth, you hear, "You can't hit me, you demonic bitch," and he taunts you, meaning you have to roll a charisma saving throw.
Oh, alright.
As you feel his words kind of fill you.
8. That's
Okay,
not
you
good.
have disadvantage on that attack roll.
God damn it. Alright.
I can see Rain really liking bards. They match her disposition.
Yeah, probably. So that would be a 15, right? Sorry. I was attacking with my rapier, right? Yeah,
It's
so
plus
15.
1. Yeah, your rapier's plus 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you definitely hit him.
Cool.
Who's the bitch now?
this bard clearly.
I don't know who he thinks he is.
Man, got arrows. They're
So
cheap.
10 damage.
See, as he was about to finish his statement, you see Rain do that fencing pose where she dips forward, stabbing him straight through the tongue, and that's why he could never finish his statement. As you remove the sword, he drops.
Yeah.
Sweet. That could have gone very differently.
Anything else?
Honestly.
I didn't take my bonus action yet, right?
Nope.
Correct.
Can I use it to grab his flute thing
Sure.
and pocket it?
Yes. You could. I'd even give that. I'd kind of give that to you as a free action if you really wanted.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. And then,
Pocket flute. It's a free
but
action.
still had time to steal.
and then I'm going to start moving towards
It's a
the
trophy
leader.
Okay.
to add it to her wall.
So
of
you
bard-
move
dead
30 feet
bard
towards the leader
instruments.
then?
Or just the pile of combat.
Come join us.
Or do you want to
It's fun here.
dash as a bonus action and get up next to him?
I'll get up next to him.
Okay. Boom.
What?
The name is said. She is
Leader.
next to the leader. Metolius, it's your turn.
Oh.
Preferably flanking with Metolius.
Okay. Yeah, with 60 feet you could get behind him. Metolius, it's your turn. You're not flanking.
All right. Well, I'll hit the other meat guy
Okay.
That's
one who
what
rushed-
we would devolve to. Meat guy.
The one who rushed back in.
He attacked me recklessly, correct?
Uh-huh.
All right.
They have all been attacking recklessly.
You have advantage against both of them.
That's
All three
true.
of them.
21.
21?
Yeah.
Hits.
15 points of magical slashing damage and 7 points of thunder damage, and he has to make another save.
So 23.
Just keep knocking it back.
Yeah.
And
No, sit down.
strength
I
saving
insist.
throw?
Yeah, 15.
He does make it this time. You feel the clap of thunder hit him, but he holds firm.
Alright, then I swing on. Oh, sorry. I forgot the electric damage again.
Okay.
I'm so bad at this game. +2,
Okay.
so 25.
Still standing.
Yep. I'm going to swing on the leader guy.
Got it.
With advantage.
With advantage.
Nat 20.
Boom!
I believe I will expend a smite
I would hope.
because
Why
Nat
wouldn't you?
20.
Crit.
crits and stuff.
Because crit happens, guys. Just so you know, listeners, crit happens.
And this one will be slashing damage. $17 slashing damage.
Okay.
And
Jesus Christ.
17 slashing damage and 17 radiant damage.
Oh, shit, yeah. He is still standing, but that just explosion of an attack just cuts deep into him.
Then I'll cast Misty Step and blink 30 feet forward toward the rise where the cry is coming from.
Okay.
And then
From
I'm
the
gonna-
center tent.
And then I'm going to book it 30 more feet because I haven't used any movement.
Okay.
So I go 60 feet toward the tent. Do
I believe
get-
you'd make it into it.
What do I see when I pull back the flap?
You see, against the center pole, bound and gagged, sits a woman with long golden hair, light skin, and golden amber eyes that look oddly knowing, I think would be the right term. She has a bit of innocence behind them, but you can see the kind of lines of serious thought that are broaching through her.
Is she attractive?
She is. And you hear that same kind of like call. She's wearing right now a tunic with 3/4 sleeves, kind of same color scheme, yellow, amber, and golden colored, tan trousers underneath. And to her side sits studded leather armor, a staff, and a cloak, as well as bag and that kind of stacked. And again, she is now tied and gagged.
Standing or like...
Standing against this center support pole.
Alright, I pull the gag away and I say, I'm Metolius Blackthorn, and I'm here to rescue you. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Elduin, your turn.
Alright, so we have very injured Boss Betty
Yep.
right in the middle. And Ghrimtuk, how are you looking?
Golden.
Great. I'm gonna fire an arrow at Big Bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna sharply shoot an arrow at Big Bad.
Okay.
That is another 15.
15 doesn't hit.
Okay, I'm gonna redirect that to another one of the guys that
The red guys.
Muscle
Grimtuk-
Wizards, I
Muscle
believe.
Wizard at
Okay.
Grimtuk's Muscle Wizards for good 26 to hit.
I want that
26
to be the
hits?
name of my gym.
Yes!
Yes. For 12 piercing damage.
Okay.
Ghrimtuk School of Muscle
Still standing.
Wizardry.
And then I'm gonna fire another arrow at the big guy.
Okay.
Damn, that's another 15.
Doesn't hit.
Yep. All right, I missed.
Okay. As you miss, ending your turn,
Yeah.
Ghrimtuk, you have two people on either side of you. One untouched, the other very hurt.
I know.
Okay, let's do
The one behind you is untouched. By the way.
the one who's hurt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. I'm just going reckless on all of these. Fuck these guys. Great Weapon Master. I forgot to do my Great Weapon Master last time when I said I was going to, but I also didn't decrease my hit. So I didn't add the damage. I didn't increase it. I
Okay.
just lied. So
You just lied.
the whole thing.
Wow.
I know, right? I didn't do
Calling
You lied,
himself out?
you lied to yourself.
Damn.
I didn't do any of the extra math.
You
so-
played yourself.
I know, right? So that's good. That is, so -5 to that would be a roll of 11 plus 9 is a non-natural 20.
Hits.
So it's going to be plus 10 already. Let's do 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 6 is 13, plus 10 goes to 23, 24, 25.
Damage?
Yes.
You, with one fell swoop of this sword, you remove his head.
Nice.
Yeah.
God.
Strongest muscle wizard wins.
If you did Great Weapon Master and that, don't you get more?
I sure do.
Certainly
So
does.
in that continuing swing,
Yeah.
you spin around at the man behind you.
Also, Great Weapon Master, Reckless.
Is this your second or third attack?
Second.
Second.
Oh man, you get a third attack.
Well, yeah, and
You
this
kill
is
the thing.
Yep.
He gets a bonus action attack.
This one might not. It is 14.
you'd be surprised, it does hit.
Holy shit.
Muscle wizards.
Muscle
Low
wizards.
AC. They don't know how to cast mage armor.
Max damage, that feels good. So that's 12 plus 6, so that's 18 already, plus 10 is 28, plus 2 is 30 damage.
Damn. You just cut a hard hole in this guy. He's still standing, but not very much.
Let's see if we can change that.
Hey.
With this final
Reckless
attack.
Reckless Great Weapon Master.
Yeah. Oh, that definitely hits. I got a natural 1 and then more than the first one on my other attack. So 11 plus 9, non-natural 20. So let's
Yes.
get that damage.
Roll that beautiful damage.
Yep, let's get that. So 6, 12, 20, 22. That's math. 22.
That's just good math.
Yep, I know, right? 6, 12, 22, 23, 24.
24?
Yeah.
He is still standing, but in that one round, you almost lopped off limbs. And he is just a bloody mess right now.
Nice.
Bringing it to Majoli's the one in front of you who recklessly swings at you.
Oh. I misty stepped and ran into
That's right. Shit.
All on me now. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, no, he goes towards Ghrimtuk. Not finding flanking, though, per se. Oh, no.
You just
Takes up the spot that you just killed.
Yeah.
And
sure.
whoop,
Could it be difficult to ring because there's a dead guy there?
he just kicks him out of the way.
Too bad. I gotta try. Sometimes it's hard to climb over dead people.
19 to hit.
to speak
That hits.
Okay.
from experience.
Oh yeah.
Of course he does.
It's a mountain of dead bodies.
That is 10 points of damage, so 5.
All right. I'll take it.
The next one behind you does the same. Not recklessly, because they're flanking.
Well, it doesn't matter. They still get there.
Yep.
I reckless
7
attack.
points, 7 to hit does not hit you.
Nope.
Now.
I reckless, so they get advantage. Either.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
But there's no double advantage, so.
Yeah. If only.
You stand now, hands bound above your head, the gag now pulled out of your mouth, and a man, toting himself to be Metolius Blackthorn, says he's here to rescue you.
He's bloodied. It's not, not super bloodied, but he's taking a hit. He does not look
What do you do?
the most amazing.
I look him in the eyes and I say, I know, Metolius. I've been sent to protect you. Are the others out there with you? And I start ripping on my chains, trying to get out.
What?
I think on that point, we're gonna end it.
Oh, okay.
Guys, thank you so much, and don't worry, you'll be hearing us soon.
Yeah!
Damn.
He's back! She's back!
Hey, this is Aaron Zelder. I play Elduin on the Swordcast Adventures. Thank you for listening, and you can find us on the swordcastadventures.com. We are also active on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of those are at the Swordcast. I'd also like to shout out our good friends at critgames.com for the sweet condition and combat cards. They are really nice and recommend using them. Anyways, have yourselves a good rest of your week.